27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What are you, fucking nuts? You thought... You just...
And now, your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon!
Well, it's another stream brought to you by the Cowboy King of Content, and I'm back. So, guys, got a really good one for you today. I've seen a bunch of media. The Last of Us, Episode 8. I seen Creed 3. I seen man, just a lot of stuff. So I kind of want to go over a bunch of things. I had this topic I wanted to get to for a while now. So it's, how has being cool affected you? And I want to get into it because I've been putting it off forever. I was supposed to do it a couple different shows, and we just got busy and never got to it. So that's going to be cool. I'm going to get into that. And I just got a lot of stuff. Last week was kind of crazy on the Twitter world. I didn't get pulled into drama, but I was a part of the drama. And here's what I mean. So a guy I know called Beast of Truth, he was a guest on my channel a bunch of times. I used to do a Wednesday show a year ago called Keeping It Real with the Cowboy, Gamer Talk, something like that. And it was pretty much just for the PlayStation and Xbox guys. And it was always toxic, rowdy, crazy, screaming, cursing. One time I had people talking about they were going to shoot each other. I was like, yo, calm down. And so it was crazy. So anyway, he was beefing last week with another guy you guys might know named King Thrash. He's a pretty big channel. And it was going back and forth. And Thrash ended up taking clips from the video from my channel and put it in all his videos and all this back and forth. So it was pretty crazy, but I thought it was cool that my channel, something from way back when, got dug up. And I keep telling you guys, I got like everybody has been on my channel at some point who was somebody. And it's always there. So if you guys come to this channel, there's a lot of content. Anyway, I'll give you guys an update on my shoulder. I went to the orthopedic specialist / surgeon today, and I don't even know. I took an x-ray also. She think I might possibly have two things going on. I might possibly have a slight frozen shoulder. I might possibly have a lot of inflammation, chronic inflammation. When I went and got my x-ray done, I said to the guy, I said, x-ray not even going to tell me much anyway, because at the end of the day, it doesn't tell tissue, it tells bone. And he was like, well, I'm not the doctor. He was like, but if you look at your x-ray, he was like, it looks like your bone that's in the socket is touching the top. So that's why you can't raise your arm. I'm like, what? So anyway, crazy. Who knows? Well, the cool thing is she did say she was pushing hard to get me to get an MRI instead of making me do physical therapy. I told her all the stuff I've been doing. She said, look, I'll write it in as if you did your own physical therapy, and you did stuff at the gym, you went to a chiropractor, blah, blah, blah. So the crazy thing is my appointment isn't until April 24th. Like, what are we doing? It's like 2 months from now. Anyway, but it is what it is. We'll see what happens. I'll keep updating you guys. But if you guys are new, I'm the Cowboy King of Content. There's 4 layers of content on this channel, plus more. But the main pieces of content, you guys are going to get podcasts like this. You guys are going to get reviews, movie reviews, product reviews. You guys are going to get vlogging. You'll see my life and everything. You guys are going to get some gaming because I love gaming. So, with that being said, I'm going to grab a chair. I hope you guys grab a chair. Let's get right into the show. Also, I like to throw the link and let anybody join. So, I'll be doing that as well. You guys could join. And, it's going to be epic. So, let's see. Let me just check out the chat first. Let's see. Mr. Error was first in the building. Let me give him a shout. Say, can I start airing your show in VR so people can watch it from my audience? Man, that would be cool. Sure, go ahead. Big up to the consistent cowboy. Thank you very much, Josh. Consistency is something that I take very serious. It's why I call myself the king of content. Somebody said to me today, they was like, bro, I seen you put out content like 2 in the morning. I said, bro, when people are sleeping, I'm making content. So, good stuff. And I want to say my videos I've been making have been doing really good. I've been coming up with these thoughts of gaming, and then I'll make a short video, maybe 7 minutes or under. And I want to thank everybody who's been watching those videos. I think they've been doing pretty good. Let me see. Like, subscribe, share, and join the membership to become an all-purpose champion. Definitely, guys. I will have to play the commercial for you guys. Nice plug, Josh. Thank you very much. Let me see. Chris Rock was not funny at all. I'm going to be honest. See, Josh said the Chris Rock show was alright. Most of the Netflix specials have been watered down. Same with Chappelle. Nothing like their HBO uncut stand-ups in the 90s and early 2000s. So I don't even think it's Netflix. In the 90s and early 2000s, the world wasn't as sensitive. So that's what was uncut. The world was uncut. We said what the hell we wanted, and we didn't have to worry about somebody trying to cancel you. And back then, people would look at you silly if you were trying to cancel somebody. Now, you can't bully anybody. So, the doctor told me that I have to take Advil for a month. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you have chronic inflammation, so it's going to take a while. So, I don't even take medication, as you guys know. Now, she said I could Google ginger to help with inflammation. She said some people who don't take medication, you could do stuff like that. But you'll see me drinking some water. I had, I guess, 2 Advils, like maybe almost 2 hours ago, something like that. She said take it every couple of hours. I'm like, what? Take Advil every couple of hours for a month? So that sounds a little off to me. But anyway, we'll see. Let me see. Josh said Last of Us is incredible. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It's spoiler free over here. So R-A-B-M. I was saying Ram. Is this still the intro? Yeah, so I switched stuff up. I don't do the super long. I don't do like my starting soon and then countdown, and then I come on, and then I play the intro. What I do now is I play everything in the beginning. So I get starting soon, give me a chance to walk around, go to the bathroom, whatever. I do my little countdown because it's a countdown for the show, and then I put out the actual intro, and then I come on, and we just get straight going. There's no pauses or breaks anymore. And want to give credit to my guy Obi Rose Kenobi because that was his suggestion and his ideal, and I like it. So, but thanks for joining the show, Rab M. I'm trying to get it right. Let me see. Say yes. Also, let me give Rab a horn. I gotta call that something. It gotta be called something clever. Let me see. That's what I've been trying to tell him. It's still way too long, dude. Get your popcorn. Get your drinks. At the end of the day, I like to sit back for a little bit. Make sure my lights are fine. My wife is about to go to the gym. I say goodbye to her and all that. That extra time, I like it. I like that extra time. I like to sit back. Sometimes I forget something. Sometimes I'm tweeting out. Like, that extra time is good for me. I like it. Even though I get home about 5:05, 5:10, so I usually have about 20 minutes, but I like that extra time. MC countdown plus intro. Let me see. Here we go. I'm a little bit late. Let me see. But it's his channel, so I can't tell him what to do. Just voice my opinion. You know I love your opinion too, man. Speaking of inflammation, I have bad knee inflammation from being and pretty much just sitting there doing nothing, being lazy, which is crazy. And you'd think it would affect someone more active. Let me see. Yeah. Well, no. So my daughter had pain in her leg. And she went and had to get physical therapy and everything. They said it's because she's not active enough. Let me see. But I started buying sea moss and noni juice for it. And it has been helping. The noni juice is from a superfruit. Tastes horrible. And it costs $40 to $70 per bottle for a specific brand I buy. Take 1 ounce a day. Yo, what's up, Chariot Man Gaming? Guys, make sure you check out Chariot Man Gaming. He had a really cool video he put out. He does these rants videos, and he was letting Sony have it. So, guys, definitely got to check that out. Let me see. Chariot Man Gaming, it was crazy seeing you hop in Gamers Chat. That's a cool dude from back in the day. Let me see. Chariot Man, I see you everywhere, even black in Japan. I get tons of ideas on his channel, so I'll know where to go when I visit. Let me see. Rue Diggs is in the building. Let's give it up for Captain Canada. He's making dinner, Nad on the phone with family, but wanted to drop in with some love. Look forward to Wednesday wrestling. So, guys, if you don't know, we Wrestle Wednesdays, and it's going to be epic. Rudix has been coming on. He came back on after being on vacation. Guys, if you are all-purpose champion, which is the channel membership, you can have certain emojis that other people don't have. So right now, guys, let me see some of the emojis. Give me that talk to the hand emoji, if you will, please. Let me see. Rudix, if you see this before you go, is the rice in poke cold or hot? Let me see. Richard Pryor was the GOAT, and now I still have Cat Williams as the current GOAT. Let me see. Big facts. Cancel culture is beyond toxic. Yeah, it's getting crazy. Depends on the type of poke, but I would say it's warm typically right on the rice cooker. The fish is cold, though, on top. Cold fish. That's strange. Let me see. Rudigs, we have a poke restaurant in my town that I never knew about, so I'm thinking about trying it tomorrow. So this is new to me. I never even heard of poke. Let me see. Rab M says sponsored by Advil. Yeah, right? Dude, man. It's my favorite type of poke. Let me see. I heard everything was cold, and I'm all right with that. Just hoping the rice isn't. Yeah, I'm not a cold guy, but my wife did say she's going to make tuna fish when she comes back from the gym today. So that is probably one of the only things I like cold. Let me see. Yep, been watching HHG for years. Miss Urbanwell. Let me see. Spicy mayo is damn good. Love it, cowboy. Thanks. You are most welcome. So ahi is tuna. Let me see. I'll have to figure this out. I'm so confused looking to, I guess, the HTE menu. Let me see. Just drink water. LOL. I'm not a big water fan, but, you know, it is what it is. Let me see. Interesting, and I'm curious on how this spicy mayo and other sauce are going to taste on cold. I gotta call the doctors though, because I need to know how often I'm supposed to take this Advil. I appreciate it, Cowboy. I had to go off on Sony. Hey man, listen, bro, it's all entertainment, but it's your personal opinions and it's your channel, so you are welcome to rant whatever you want. You know what I mean? I do it all the time. So I do my positive rants. If you guys didn't know, my one recent rant was pretty good. It actually happened because somebody was trying to make fun of me, saying that I'm walking around with these little kid toy belts. You guys know I'm interactive on this channel. I like to get up. Wait till I move to Florida. You guys are going to see it really cool, because this channel is going to be super interactive when I get my streaming room. But yeah, so I was wearing my little belts. My guy K9, he was just trying to be funny. But I went into a rant. Listen, if you're doing content, right, you got to be able to make fun of yourself, right? You got to be able to come on here, laugh, joke, and not allow people to get to you, right? So I was trying to say, dude, I'm a guy walking around with 2 toy belts and a cowboy hat. I'm on here doing martial arts, and guys, I don't have a problem making fun of myself. So at the end of the day, that was my most recent positive rant. Make sure you guys check it out. Go to my channel. I switched it up a little bit. I have it now with popular videos. Then I have the next section is videos. The next section is live streams. The next section, or the last section, is my shorts, because I put on shorts as well. Let me see. Could you please smash the other business out of Anthony Kenneth Bishop and his squad book boyfriend, Lord Gaming Man? Yo, you're wild. So my guy Anthony Bishop, which I call him AKB, he just started playing a wrestling league with us. He's a damn good wrestler. And, yeah, you know, I'll definitely shout out his channel at some point. And my guy, Lord Gaming Man. Good stuff, good people. All right, so Chariot Man, are you Rune? Chariot Man and Rune going back and forth. The Discord was crazy. I was watching secretly in the background. Yeah, I caught up with that, and that's cool. You know, at the end of the day, guys, the Discord, you guys could have your bicker or whatever, but as long as we're all cool at the end of it. But you never let somebody back you down. Speak your mind, speak your piece, even if somebody disagree, even if you realize you were wrong or you change your mind. But it's good to be verbal and vocalize your feelings and your opinions, right? And I'd rather say don't really vocalize your feelings. Vocalize your logic. And my guy Josh knows all about that. What the heck? Okay. I dropped my top. All right, so let me see. Josh said, big up to the dope content creators in the chat. Make sure to subscribe to each other. Definitely. But it's all fun and games. Let me see. Since we don't use profanity, is it okay to say damn and hell out loud? Hey, that's up to you and YouTube. You can use whatever profanity you want. It's just if YouTube is going to allow you. These 2 guys in Texas had a car accident, got into an argument, and the guy came out with a WWE belt. I laughed so hard and thought about you guys. It was real, not scripted. Yo, that's funny. Let me see. I made 2 people leave Discord, and Cowboy made 1 person leave. I'm the champion so far. It happens, right? All right. So with that being said, guys, I got a couple things I want to get into. As you know, let me go to the Discord. I put what we're going to be talking about today in the Discord. So I want to get into this one topic because I've been putting it off forever. So let's get into this. So what I wanted to know, and I'm going to talk about it from my side too, and I think because me and Mr. Ermero was kind of talking about this, but how do you allow being cool affect you? Okay, so this is what I mean. I'm going to speak from me. When I was younger, I lived in Trenton, New Jersey, right? So it was kind of the hood, I guess you would say, but where I lived at wasn't that bad, but it still was, you were like around the bad area. You know what I'm saying? Like bad area was around the corner, right? So where I grew up, it was all about getting girls, being cool. You had to be cool to get the girls. So I grew up always being interested in girls. Like, I remember I used to be a real fast runner. And I was just street race people. So I went to school to see if I could be on a track team. They said, dude, you're really fast. We'd like you to join. We got 4 practice a week. I was like, what? Hell no. Why? Because I wanted to be out hanging with girls. I wanted to be riding my bike, being with my boys. I wanted to be cool so bad. I didn't do stuff like go on a track team. I wanted to be cool so bad, I never went to any of my dances, right? I never went to like the prom. I never went to anything besides one dance, and that was my first wife. I met her when I was in high school. She was in middle school. I went to her 8th grade dance. Now, where I grew up, you was considered corny if you went to a dance. It's like, bro, what you look like going to a dance? And that's just how it was. So I literally hindered my upbringing because I wanted to be cool. So it's interesting when you think about trying to be cool, right? So I'm curious on what things happen to you guys. Like, for instance, I was always messing with ladies. So I got into working out. I was already a shorter guy, right? So I was already short. But I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure the cowboy, now mind you, I haven't worked out in a while because my arm's messed up. But I was like, I'm going to make sure the ladies, they going to know what's up. You know what I mean? So for me, I was always into working out. When I was younger, they used to call me Bruce, right? I was so skinny, but I was so ripped. I was like super ripped. And guys, this is me not even working out. It sucks that I got injured. Because man, I would have, imagine if I didn't get injured. I would have started working out December 1st, right? Dude, you know how I would have looked if I didn't get injured? Sucks. Anyway, so for me, the driving factor for working out was because girls. So that was one thing I did because I wanted to be cool so bad back in my day and where I came from. So I remember even my one car. Now, my one car, it was called a Street Dragon. I got to show you guys a video one day. Or actually, I never recorded it, but I do have it. All right. I have it recorded, but I never made it into a video. So I remember I had 9-foot tribal dragons on both sides, a giant dragon emblem with a fire on the hood, this super big wing. It was crazy. I had the Japanese letters for Street Dragon. It was crazy decals all over. I ended up getting a body kit. I did that because I wanted to be cool. So I wonder, what did you guys end up doing because you wanted to be cool? Now, you guys don't have to say everything, but I'm curious. So anyway, let me see what you guys got to say. Let me see. Say, yep. LOL, mister. Let me see. But can you catch me today if I stole your PS5? What is he talking about? Yo, what's going on? Dank is in the building. You know it. So, do you guys got anything to share? Let me think what else, man. I mean, my main thing was girls. I wanted to be cool. And I think that sent me down the rabbit hole because, mind you, this is my 3rd marriage, right? I got married at a young age. Got married at 18, right? And I think trying to be cool and not just be a kid, but wanting to be the ladies' man and mess with all the girls when I was young, it kind of sent my life on a certain, trajectory. Now, granted, I guess the good thing is I never, drank or smoked, or I never did any drugs or anything because I didn't try to be cool in that way because I was always trying to be cool as far as the ladies. And then I got married at a young age. So I didn't even get a chance to smoke and drink and all of that because I got married at 18. I was still in high school. So it kind of did stop me from doing that stuff. But then, man, I got into dancing. So when I used to go to the club, I was the dance machine. And I did that too to be cool. Right? I was the guy in a group that was into dancing. So that made me cool. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. That's all you got to say? All right. Chirac. Let me see. Rune is in the building. So, yo, what's up? What's up, Rune? See, Rune, I end up doing the stream later. You said it. Other people are at work. So, there you go. Let me see. But you know what, guys? I was playing Hi-Fi Rush for a little over an hour. I'm enjoying it. It's cool. I want to beat it because then I want to make a video of Hi-Fi Rush versus Forspoken. I know a lot of people said they think Hi-Fi Rush was a better game. I played and beat Forspoken. Now I want to play and beat Hi-Fi Rush, and I want to see my thoughts. So let me see. When it comes to being cool, I regret it because I missed out on a lot of things. I wanted to hang out with the other kids that watch anime, so I missed out on possible friends and missed out. So wait. Explain to me. You was not cool, or you was cool, so that made you miss out on the other kids? I don't get it. When it comes to being cool, I regret it because I missed out on a lot of things. So are you saying you was trying to be cool or you wasn't trying to be cool? Explain that. Let me see. After school activities. Like looking back, I could see myself doing all of the nerdy things like chess. Yeah, and even wrestling. Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, I was too cool to do all that stuff. I get what you're saying. Let me see. Damn, married at 18. Yeah, bro, married at 18 years old, bro. Let me see. I was so embarrassed when my mom made me join the orchestra, but today I'm happy I learned how to play the violin. But I really wanted to join band instead to play the drums. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good because parents can see what we don't see. Dan Catboy, no drinking drugs, huh? That's why you look good for your age. I guess, like, people always ask me, right? And I'm always like, so I never drank before. I never smoked before. I mean, zero, right? Women was just my thing, right? So, again, I was always staying in shape because of women, right? Once I got into women, like, at a young age, I started working at 14, so I was always like, yo, the girls be looking, right? So, and then I was vain. I wanted to just walk on the beach with my shirt off, right? So, but you combine me working out, you combine no alcohol, no drugs, no cigarette smoke, no nothing. I mean, I don't know. I think plus I'm a smaller guy, right? I'm only 5'5", about 145 pounds. And I also don't like meat. So I'll eat meat. I just don't like the taste of meat. So that just shows that, not shows, but that just means I don't eat it often, right? Like if we go somewhere to eat, I often will rather get something other than meat, you know? So that might have something to do with it, but who knows? I always feel there is an exception to the rule, you know? Let me see. Outside of that petty stuff, you were really made fun of if you came to school wearing Payless Walmart Kmart. Yo, it's real. When I grew up too, man, listen, bro. I remember a funny story. My mom, one year I wanted Jordans, Nikes, whatever, right? Because back in the day, Nikes was popular, so that's why I only wear Nikes, the sneakers. And my mom was like, yeah, I got you. So I'm going to school, talking smack to all my friends. Yeah, I'm going to get these sneakers for Christmas. My mom got me, I'll never forget it. They're called XJ9000s. Matter of fact, we're going to look these up. Man, I came to school, and I was the laughing stock of everybody. XJ9000. Oh, it'd be nice if I turned my keyboard on. All right, so XJ9000 sneakers. Was it XJ9000 or XJ900s? All right, let me see. I want to see images. I'm looking for XJ9000s. Maybe it's XJ900s. Yeah, let me see. It was not cool, guys. XJ900 sneakers. Adidas. Come on, I know they got Yeah, hold on. Oh, look, they got. All right, y'all guys ready for this? It just look like they trying to update the XJ900s. Yo, Lion, what's going on? Hold on, we're gonna get into it, Lion. But let me share the screen real quick. Guys, take a look at these. Man, I went to school. They went in on me. Let me tell you that. XJ900. Now, granted, this wasn't what they looked like back in the day. Look, they got some for $239. Wait, this must not be the right shoes. Yeah, XJ900s. Wait, was these like the back in the super old ones or something like that? They worth a lot of money. So why does it says $239? Unless they came up. Yo, what if XJ900s are now like expensive shoes? Look, this says $199. They look terrible. $229. A collector's edition package. Limited edition. Oh, these might just be like the super old ones. Anyway, I came to school and I got laughed at. It was terrible. Let me see. My man Lion's in the building. Lion said, how late are you streaming? I'm not sure. I've been trying to only do 2 hours. So I'm setting out to do 2 hours, but I got a lot to cover today. So if I just want to cover everything. So Nelson is in the building. So what up, Cowboy? How long have you been on? I've been on since 5:30, so half an hour now. 33 minutes. Obi's in the building, so yo, he can't dance. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, guys, let me check that out too. Thank you, Obi, very much. Also, Obi, I mentioned how you helped me change my intro and all that. So, guys, we got 9 people watching and 7 likes. 8 likes, so I just liked it. So make sure you like the video. See, Rune said, yeah, I just got home not long ago about to order some food. Oh, nice. What you getting, Rune? Let me see. Mr. Orber said, I'm saying I was considered cool, hanging out with the cool crowd and messing up, skipping class, school, etc. I wasn't being my true self. Yeah, I mean, dude, one of the main things we do is skip school. Now, I didn't skip school that much. My mom's from Jamaica, and over there, they're super stern. So my mom was mean, and she was stern. But the only time I really skipped school was when I got into high school and I was dating this girl, and I was skipping school, or at least going on my lunch, and we was leaving the high school to go to this guy house. Everybody used to go hang out at his house because he lived close. Let me see. Room number, you drink. I've never been high or drunk in my life. Let me see. Intelligence wasn't cool growing up. Class clown. Bro, I was a super class clown. You ain't lying. That's the thing. Like, and the super, super cool kids, when I grew up, they all just smoked weed and stuff. Or no. When I grew up, they didn't smoke weed. They sold weed. So that was the thing. Kids that was cool used to sell drugs. And then as time, when I got a little bit out of school and all that, then kids used to do drugs when they was cool. So look how that goes, right? In my day and age, kids thought it was cool because they sold drugs. Then eventually kids thought it was cool because they did drugs. What a downgrade. I mean, they're both bad, but I guess at least some kids are making money. I don't know how to look at it. I wouldn't even know how to order from a bar, nor how to even buy cigarettes from the gas station. So my mom used to make us go to the store and buy cigarettes for her. But so I know certain cigarettes in my head. But yeah, if you sent me to get alcohol, I'll mess it up, bro. I don't even know the difference. Let me see. No, it was Urban World. I never drank or drugs either. Let me see. His favorite series is Hannibal. He is in a skin suit that ain't his real skin, cowboy. That is true though. My favorite movie series is Hannibal series, right? Silence of the Lamb, Hannibal Rising, Red Dragon, Hannibal, all of that stuff. Good stuff. And I just started yesterday watching Clarice, my wife and I. So that's kind of cool. That we finally watching that show after so long. Let me see. It goes more money, power, respect than women. Not for me. I had women first. Put that in a shirt, cowboy. Woman was just my thing. Yo, for real. Let me see. That's dope. So now that makes 4 of us who didn't drink, smoke, Cowboy, Rune, Urban, and Primo. Oh, Primo also. All right. Now we just got to cut out the junk food. I can't cut out the junk food. Look, I'm going to show you guys what I really like. One of my favorite things. I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite things. Actually, I'm going to show you something else. It's like show and tell, right? So, I'm a big fan of sunflower seeds, right? And barbecue flavor is my favorite. My wife and I would just sit in bed when we watch shows, and I'll eat sunflower seeds. Also, here's something to note. If you're really tired, 2 things that keep you awake. Sunflower seeds and M&Ms. Now, M&Ms with peanuts. Don't just throw them in your mouth and chew them up. Put it in your mouth, eat the shell and the chocolate, and then save the peanut for last. It stimulates your mind. Same thing with sunflower seeds. Whenever my wife and I are watching shows and I start to doze off, she's like, wake up. I jump up. I reach for my sunflower seeds. I grab this cool bowl. So you put the seeds in here. And I was just eating some sunflower seeds last night. I got to empty it. So you put the seeds in here, right? You take your seeds, put them in your mouth, and then you put them in this little slot, right? Or you can just take it off and have 2 things. But, guys, I'm a big fan of jelly beans. So my mother-in-law bought me a huge bag of jelly beans. I went to the Walmart yesterday, and I bought 2 more. I put another bag at my job and another here. I want to buy 10 bags of jelly beans this season, so when it's over, I'm going to have a lot of jelly beans. So, a couple things I just want to share with you guys. Like I said, when I move to Florida, this show is going to be super interactive. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff I'm going to be pulling out. It's going to be cool because I'm going to have a whole room dedicated to streaming. Just, guys, you have no clue what I want to do when I move to Florida. All right, so Miss Irwin was laughing. Oh, wait, let me read this part. I'm experimenting with veganism, but it's rough. So here, let me show you this too. Bro, we love soda. Okay? I'm a big soda fan. This is juice. But we got so much soda. My wife bought a bunch of soda, and so what we do is whenever we run low, we just throw it in our mini fridge. That's right back here. And we're good to go. So she bought a bunch, and we just keep stocking the mini fridge. All right, so let me see. Miss Irwin's laughing. XJ9000s. That sounds like a Sony TV, right? Let me see. Oh, man, easier said than done. I just had a huge fried ocean perch seafood dinner not too long ago. Oh, that sounds really good. Let me see. Rune Mamba, I have a few channels with vegan recipes. They were making amazing food. I plan on going back to plant-based soon. But, man, I order fast food every single day. I'm hooked. It's good, man. Let me see. He's laughing. Rune said, those ain't too bad. Let me see. He said, I bet Cowboy was ready to go home when they were clowning him. Yeah, bro. I mean, well, my thing is I used to fight back with joking, right? So when people used to get on me, I was like, oh, yeah. And I was a class clown, class clown. Josh said someone would wear those. Back in the day, though, Josh, those things was like $5. Let me see. They like PF flyers, bro. What are those? Let me see. What are those? I guess that's where that comes from. I rock the Jordan Fusions. I forgot the name. Let me see. I'd rather wear K-Swiss over those. I found a solution for my potato, bro. Oh, really? Let me see. Allegedly. Tell him, Josh. Xbox One X. Oh, so what are you doing? Tell me about it. I do like Hannibal TV show. So the Hannibal TV show was really good. Really good. It was excellent. They had a couple seasons. It got canceled. But before it got canceled, they literally wrapped up everything. If you watch it, they pretty much had, they went through every single Hannibal movie and had it kind of in the show. It was pretty cool. Yo, you know what's cool? My wife's fish tank has now became like part of my set. You see them like flying all around. It's kind of cool. Also, let me turn this down. My mic is probably a little bit high. It's always high, and I have to turn it down. So you guys let me know how that sounds. Let me see. Mr. kept me in soda and VR. Let me see. Speaking of soda, I purchased a variety pack for my soda stream for emergency nights. Oh, you still use that thing? Sunflower seeds are good, but they're too much work. And that's why they keep you stimulated. I love cold chocolate. Maltese cold are the best. Hold on, wait. What cold chocolate? So like you put it in the freezer or the refrigerator. Let me say I want to eat Hogwarts jelly beans with Cowboy live on stream. Hey man, listen, I love it. I even got a video. Remember, guys, I got that video of Boone Bean Boozled, where they had me eat jelly beans and I didn't know what taste they were, and it was really nasty. Is that cherry Pepsi? Oh yeah, my wife loves cherry Pepsi. That's my favorite soda. Oh, that's her favorite soda. Yeah, we have that so much. Holtz, I don't like the what are they called? Maltesers. Let me see. Room Mama did or Mr. Urban talk to you about sea moss yet? B12 is in there. Yeah, he mentioned it earlier. Let me see. By the way, I ordered a buffalo chicken quesadilla. Oh, nice. Okay. Josh Warren, he brings up sea moss at least once a week. Not sure if he saw it on or not, but I've talked about it in Discord. Oh man, Josh is laughing. He said, Mr. Urban, do you know who Yoda is? I'm sure he does. Let me see. Room Mamba. Nope. Who is that? Let me see. He's a vegan YouTuber. I'll post his videos in the Discord. Let me see. And I'm almost caught up. Let me see. Host, nice. You just read your Discord post. I was in Spanish-speaking room in VR last night and was able to keep up longer than usual, but still have a long ways to go. Let me see. Host said, room number, how come? Ever tried them cold? And let me see. Room number cool. I was watching the crazy vegan dude, vegan games. And let me see. Yo, Ellis is in the building. Let me see. Host said I don't like the hollow nutmeg flavors. So Ellis, what we were talking about is how has being cool affected you, right? So I was telling people how this is my third marriage, and I was always kind of like not the ladies' man, but for me, when I was growing up, messing with the girls was being cool. So that's why I got really into working out because I was already short anyway, right? So I got really into working out. I got into dancing. I just did all the stuff that in time. Now, I wasn't dancing when I was a kid or younger because I was too cool to go to like school dances, right? But then when I got older and went to the club, I was dancing, right? And all the ladies were like, okay. And I, so you guys are just joining. Like I see Lester's in the building. Let us know if there was anything being cool, right? So you was trying to be cool, but did it affect you? And I felt trying to be cool negatively affected me because one, I ended up getting married at a young age, right? I totally put off college. It just totally changed me from being young, trying to be cool. Let me see. Room came in when I was talking to you in Holtz in Discord. Let me see. Josh said, Holtz, I got a jelly bean pack from the Harry Potter store in Heathrow, along with my Slytherin scarf and hat. Did you play Hogwarts Legacy yet? Lester's in the building. What's up, Cowboy in chat? Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, man, we got some interesting topics. Yo, Larry's in the building. What's going on? So how many of y'all think Sony will buy Take-Two? I think that will be a smart. I don't really know if that's going to happen, right? Like, I know that the one thing says the guy knows 3 people who all said it. But I wonder if that's really going to be a thing, you know? Let me see. And Room didn't even say a single word. Let me see. I think he came in just to spy on me. Let me see. Room number on. Oh, dang. Oh, your vegan gains comment didn't show up in chat. But all right, you guys are talking about vegan stuff. I'm going to kind of just put these up, but skip those. Let me see. The wedding was crazy and strange. Yo, King Thrash is in the building. I didn't dance to the. Yo, I'm saying, right? So Thrash, I used to dance at home because my family's from Jamaica, right? So she would throw on the reggae music and all that, and we would dance at the house, right? Whining and whatnot. In my head, I'm just hearing the music. And so, but yeah, when I went to the club, then we used to get it in. And all my boys was kind of a little scared to dance. And mind you, I didn't even drink. So I'm the sober one going out there. And dude, I used to battle dance. I did I used to call myself the Black Patrick Swayze. Come on, bro. Y'all about to get me throwing on my, hold up. Y'all about to have me. Where the ladies at? All right. Let me stop. All right. So anyway, since there ain't no ladies in the building, Thrash, but let us know. We was talking about being cool and how did it affect you? It could be negatively or not. Let me see. YouTube censoring. You know how YouTube is, Larry Goodwin. We don't know what Sony is. We only play state. Hey, don't say that, bro. Let me see. Take-Two isn't for sale. Let me see. Room number what? Nutmeg. Let me see. Holtz is funny. You guys still talking about food. Let me see. Is it in the Discord? Melon link. Yeah, so I'm going to put the link up. Let me just get to the very bottom. Let me see. They had make an announcement. Warner back in the day. Ellis said, yeah, I was a cool kid and also was class clown. We were just talking about that, Ellis. You had to be the class clown, bro. All through in middle school, played sports, all the good stuff. Ended up with 4 baby moms. Listen, bro. That's what happened, right? Let me see. I have no baby mamas. I'm so jealous of you, Ellis. Josh said, what's going on? Rastafari. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I can show you. I'm gonna show y'all something. Y'all want to see my roots? Let me see. Those middle school dances was close and personal. When the boys and men and Jodeci came on, man, I didn't even go to any. I went to one middle school dance. Let me see. I need that link for Patrick Swayze. So I'm gonna show y'all something. Josh brought it up, so it made me think of it. My dad's brother. My dad passed away, but my dad's brother, his name is Rusty, and he Ellis, I'm looking at your picture right now. You just sent me. That's dope. He just sent me a video, and I'm going to show you guys. And this is from, he still lives in Jamaica. I have a lot of family. My dad's family lives in Jamaica. Never came to the United States. So let me show you this. Now, I met some of them. I went to Jamaica twice in 2009. My ex-wife, we went on our honeymoon to Jamaica in May 2009, and then later on that year in September, I went back. My dad passed away in April, so when I went back, I called his cell phone. I knew he was passed away, and I called his cell phone. I got his wife, and I said, hey, I'm here in Jamaica, and I would like to meet you guys. So I got a chance to meet him and my sisters and my brothers, and it was cool. But my Uncle Rusty, every now and then, he just send me stuff. So check this out. This is my Uncle Rusty's daughter getting on stage. So this must have just happened over the weekend.
Akam Jorita Naga Fire and Ethiopia, one Ethiopia, and so watching ya. And Ethiopia, say one Ethiopia. Oh, ndeza no, ba fikr no. Fikrachin and netachin, netachin, hailachin. Ndeza no. And okay, Mechemero, we're going to start the program. And you know, as it is said in the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, a child shall lead the way. A child shall lead the way. So we present you, brothers and sisters. Lejuch, our beautiful princess from the tribe of Joseph. Brothers and sisters, give it up for little Linda Joseph. Give it up, give it up.
Linda Joseph. ግጥም ታነብልናለች። ህፃናት ወደኔ ይመጡ ዘንድ አትከልክሏቸው። ሁላችንም እንደ ልጆች ብንሆን ነው የእግዚአብሔርን መንግስት የምንወርሰውና መልካም እንሁን። ሊንዳዬ.
So she's speaking in a different language. So pretty much the Jamaican accent, there's a bunch of words that's different, but a lot of those words are English. So you're going to hear when the little girl speaks, and the little girl pretty much is my dad's brother's daughter. So that would be my cousin, right? So check it out.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This day reveals in the personality of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today I would like to tell you a poem written by my dad, Brother Rusty Zebulun. It's called The Founding of the 12 Tribes of Israel. It was 55 years ago. This is how the history of Israel goes. That the Oregon was founded by the prophet God. His visions he got from the Almighty God. So he went to and fro like a fisherman, gathering Israel from the right and left hand, from Reuben to Benjamin and sister Dinah. He organized us to praise the Almighty Jah, to repatriate brothers and sisters to Ethiopia, starting from the little island of Jamaica, teaching I, our Lord Jesus Christ, a doctrine so beautiful and so right. So let us today celebrate the founding of Israel and its doctrine to the world so proudly tell.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah. All right, so I just wanted to show that because I thought it was pretty cool that my dad's brother still contact me, and I never got to meet my dad besides when I was a little kid, but it kind of sucked because I was going to finally meet him, and I was going to meet him in May, and he passed away in April. So that's just on me because I should have met him, but I had all those opportunities too. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to throw that on there. But now I'm going to throw the link in there so you guys could join the show. If you're new, I like to throw the link out, and I like to say I want to be the bridge between the content creators and the viewers. So if you was watching and you was typing and you said, you know what, I want to say more, well, just click on the link. You don't have to show your face if you don't want. You could come on here like this. Nobody know what you look like. And so, you know, I try to make it where a lot of people would like to be a part of it. So let me see. To join the show. Here you go. I'm going to let me pin that. So anybody join, we'll see that's pinned. Let me check on the likes. All right, guys. So let's see. We got 10 likes. If you guys are watching, please like the video. Let me see. Let me see. Link to Patrick Swayze. Show us your yearbook. I never even got a yearbook. I just got done looking at The Last of Us. I really like the story. So far, it's a little different from the game. They changed a couple things. In each episode, they tweaked a couple things. Episode 3, they changed the most. I'm a big fan. So The Last of Us is my favorite, or not favorite, but The Last of Us is the best game that I ever played. I put it on #1 out of all the games I played, just because when I first played it, it was put together like it had the best story at the time. It had the gameplay was amazing. The graphics was amazing. So it blew me away. But guys, I'm going to bring in none other than my mentor, Mr. Josh Waring. Give it up.
Howdy, cowboy. How are you, sir?
What's up, Josh? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and loving this new look with the background as well.
Yeah, you know what?
I see the lighting. The lighting is top notch. You know,
bro. You know what's crazy? I was like, so I like, if some people didn't know, I like to do this, right? So, whoops, wrong thing. Hold up. Let me switch up real quick. I like to do this, or I used to anyway. That's not my background. That comes with it. But anyway, I like to have it like this, right? And then I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? When I move, I'm not going to have that virtual at all, right? And then when my wife had her fish tank, I'm like, dude, the fish tank looks kind of cool, right? You got the fish tank, the lamp in the back. I was like, you know what? Why not? Right? So thank you very much for that, because whenever I hear somebody like something, it makes you feel good. You're like, oh, you know what? That's cool. Because if you thought it looked cool, but somebody reinforces it. So I want to thank you for that, man.
And you just gave yourself another example of doing things to be cool. Sometimes we would say something was cool just to be perceived as cool, even if you thought that was corny as hell, you know?
Yeah, for real. Hey, listen, you know what's crazy? There's some corny stuff that became cool because people just lean into it. and then it catches, right? That's all fads are, right? Fads start off, you're like, that's dumb as hell, and next you know everybody's doing it. You're like we was walking in Walmart yesterday, right? And this girl had these like neon green, fluffy, furry, like, to me they would have been like slippers, right? But nowadays people wear them. So I looked at her, and then I looked down, and my wife's wearing like the similar things, right? Just wasn't that color, and I'm like,
wow,
whatever, yo. What are you gonna do, bro?
You can't take him nowhere.
Nowhere, man. Come on. But anyway, let's bring in none other than Holtz to join us on this crusade for what is cool and how did it affect you. Holtz, man, I know you got some stories, bro.
I was in joy when you actually said you're the Black Patrick Swayze, because in my childhood, since the early 90s, I grew up with a older sister, and
Holtz, I think your thing is a little loud. Is it loud for you too?
Loud? Is it loud now?
It sounds like you're using a dish that's transmitting to Mars at the moment.
What about now, guys?
Well, let's say something again.
What about now, guys?
Just turn it down a little bit.
A little bit. Well, this is going right all the way down here. A little bit now.
That's good.
That sounds great. Maybe this is enough from there.
Okay, so when Cowboy
hold up, real quick, he said Mars, and speaking of that, none other than FCAT beaming into our solar system, baby.
Yeah. Out there,
what's up, man?
Elon, I see you, FCAT.
FCAT is in the building. But go ahead, Holtz. Sorry about that.
So when you mentioned about Black Patrick Swayze, I was like, oh my god, this guy is literally. I can relate to you, because in the 90s I went to a holiday park, and Dirty Dancing was definitely a thing because my older sister, but all the things in late 80s and 90s, and Patrick Swayze songs to start to finish, I knew all the dance moves. And like you said, Cowboy, when you had the charisma to get onto a dance floor, that was exactly the same as me. I might have been slow-witted, but for example, I literally knew to have the characteristics to be the Patrick Swayze on a dance floor in the early 90s. And when you just said that, it brings joy to me. Like, wow.
Yeah, man.
I wonder how we're going to go forward in the show, because I've got loads of experiences in the early 90s that I'm pretty sure you could laugh and join in with the joke, but let's see where we're going.
I would kill to see Holtz dance.
I was a great dancer. I mean, like I said, I went to a holiday camp, and since the age of, say, 6, I was always growing up to a teenager, always dancing with the best songs. So, I could sort of sit there and say, like, I done the full Monty. I done Dirty Dancing. I done all the moves left, right, and center in the 90s.
Holtz, you ain't never tell a girl to run up to you and you holding her up in the air.
Yeah, well, that took a bit of the strength, of course, but but we will see. But like I said, great. When you mentioned these artists, I was literally there. George Michael, I entertain dance with all the best ever artists that we talk with, sort of left wing, right wing, whatever approach. I was there in the 90s dancing to it. So, yes, let's just see what defines cool in that era of our age.
You know what? I think so. Cool is interesting, right? And I wanted to talk about this, like I said, a while ago, but I think the word cool is probably one of the most powerful words ever. And cool might be a lot of things. Somebody might call it epic. Somebody say it's awesome, it's radical, it's tubuloso, like whatever. All these words come back to cool, right? And so cool, something for me could be cool, something for somebody else might not be cool. So, but it's interesting because when you get around your group or your people or what cool means to you, it kind of influences us, right? Negatively or positively. So it's an interesting thing. But FCAT, bro, can you tell us a little bit about you, man? Are there any stories you got about trying to be cool, or like what, I mean, this dude's from FCAT, you're from, oh, look at that. Oh, look, I could raise my arm a little bit. Let's go. Claudiz had just became an all-purpose champion. I gotta write that down.
So silly, Josh. I forgot to laugh.
What I gotta write that down now. Let's see. But FCAT, go ahead, man. You got any stories for us, man, or anything that kind of like maybe it kind of like you changed your life because you were trying to be cool or you was cool, like maybe you got into being a drug dealer and you worked at a crack house or something because it was cool in your neighborhood. I mean, I don't know. Listen, where you lived at in the bayou, maybe you was alligator hunting. I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm in the city, bro.
Oh, okay, well.
Okay, so it's just a talk point of being cool. Are we starting off the being cool instance?
So the whole thing was, how did being cool affect you? Right? Could be negatively.
Well, I was never the cool kid. I was never the cool kid because in my upbringing it was very sports heavy. So we're talking about football and we're talking about the branding of football. So soccer. In that instance, it was all about the idea of sort of even wrestling. Wrestling was sort of a sports idea, and if you never fit into that mindset, you were instantly bullied. So in the end, you was not cool. So me growing up as a kid and I had the passion to dance, even though I just talked about Patrick Swayze and stuff like that, these chick flick movies were defined as not cool, especially when you go into an all boys school. And everything that I used to watch, like anime, it doesn't matter how cool the anime was in 97, 98, it was always frowned upon. And even though that a fab could take multi-millions of pounds of or dollars in revenue, so we're talking about the Pokemon cards and stuff like that, it was always defined as a nerd culture. Computers was always a nerd culture. The internet in the the late 90s was a nerd culture, and it was only that it came into fruition 5-10 years later that it was defined as cool, i.e. when the iPhone came out, the iPods, the internet came to the masses, and animation came to the masses, and blah 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 blah. But
I wouldn't tell you any of those kind of stories because they would be kind of embarrassing. But I do remember in around school time when I was in school, like if you didn't have a starter jacket, you weren't cool.
Yeah. Explain what a starter jacket is.
Like so a starter jacket was like a starter brand, like jacket with like an NFL team on it or something.
Well, someone mentioned Discord K-Swiss. I can't remember who mentioned K-Swiss. I was in Discord in chat.
Yeah, you guys, no, wasn't that in the chat here? We was talking about.
Okay, so someone mentioned K-Swiss. When I was a kid in the late 90s, K-Swiss was called Adidas Extra Stripe.
Oh wow.
Because it was Adidas with an extra stripe, that they mimicked Adidas. So that is, if you wanted sort of the American look wearing K-Swiss, which I actually did wear K-Swiss in like the early 2000s, it was a copy of Adidas with an extra stripe. So the bullying was always there, even though you were fashionable, taking inspiration from a different part of the world.
Now, Holtz, Claudette said she was cool because she had those name belts with the rhinestones. You remember those, Holtz? Did they have those over there?
Another one, if you like, I used to hang out with the goth people and whatnot, and if you didn't have Jinko jeans, you weren't cool.
Oh, remember the jeans with the chains?
But,
oh yeah, remember you used to have the chains that went from here to the back pocket.
Right, FCAT. I was sort of from the gothic mentality in the sense like I loved Metallica in '97 and I loved Linkin Park and stuff like that. When you created fabs, like the idea of new metal, and there was no such thing as new metal. We just wanted to create fabs to create a pocket society for ourselves. And I remember joining on this fab of one, like especially Kerrang, the music station, and I remember realizing now when I reflect back how wrong we was pigeonholing ourselves in a community. And I feel to myself, why couldn't I like Linkin Park but wear pink? Why couldn't I like anime but I also like blah blah blah? I'm really looking to myself, but it was that time point where we always needed a fab to fit into, to define us as cool, not in the definition as cool as a whole, but definition in just having a group of friends, I guess.
Yeah.
And no, I do not know what a rhinestone belt looked like. If the definition was.
I bet you Chloe had the earrings with her names in them. I bet you.
That's a funny thing because like when I became like cool with like the goth people and whatnot, my locker actually had like CD covers all on it. And I had like Marilyn Manson Smells Like Children and Corn and all this blah blah blah. And somebody saw it and they're like, "Oh man, you're cool."
You know what? And then I bet a bunch of people was walking by like, "What the goth
Well-
people? Hold up, F-Cat, did you paint your nails black?"
No. Oh wait, that was a thing.
My dad,
Also, was a thing
Yeah.
where you took a sweater and you cut a hole in it and you put your finger.
FCAT, my dad said to me in 97, 98, he actually said to me, you can like what you like in music, but don't express it too much because you get your head kicked in. So please do not wear black and black makeup and stuff like that, which came to a fruition in early 2000s. But at that time, I did not express, even though I could be so knowledgeable in like sort of Metallica, Korn, Slipknot and stuff like that, and I did not express them points because I would get my head kicked in. So I knew it had to develop from a musical point of view where people accepted it, which I feel like people did accept it when it came to like 2003. So 6 years after what we was sort of representing, and my dad used to say, you can be whoever you want, but please do not walk around this area with black nail varnish, black eyeliner and long coats. And back in that day, I loved the Matrix. I loved their big huge long coats, and I've actually got 2 long coats. I'll have to pull them out. They're literally there in the cupboard, and I walked around in like 2001 with these big huge black trench coats. I used to walk around with these big huge like contact lenses, and people are like, what the hell's he doing? But now if you look back at it now, we laugh about it, that it was just an expression of taste.
I would. Hey, hold
But-
on. We need pictures.
Extra in Underworld. I see you, host. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
we
funny
need pictures.
story, Holtz, because the day after Columbine, all the people that I hung around with was all rebellious, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna wear trench coats tomorrow."
Yeah.
Okay. Guess who's the only stupid idiot who wore a trench coat?
What?
Yeah. So do you know what? I've got 2 trench coats, one with buttons and one with buckles and one with buttons. And to this day, they're my favourite. I went to Download and Sonosphere in 2003. I've seen some great heavy metal bands in that era, but I remember my dad saying in like 1997, do not wear it, they kicked in. So in the end, I'm that type of person where I can go to a heavy metal festival and wear pink and not be accepted, even though I know more than them. And I could actually go to a bar with pop, and I can actually wear black, and I can laugh and joke because I've came from growing up where I've just been sick and tired of people defining what you can and can't wear, but how you should express. And
No, sorry, host. I'm just laughing at how Chloe and Mr. Earl just talk about Josh and what he wore in the comments. They wildin'. What was the snorkel jacket though? Chloe said she and the snorkel jackets. What was the snorkel jackets? I don't remember that. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But yeah.
And go back to point even before I actually hit heavy metal, like 96. I came from like I used to go to a caravan where we used to have like the best like heavy metal and rock tribute bands, but then I also grew up on like Steps, and I grew up on like Britney Spears, and I grew up on all these pop bands, and never once was a defiance of my character, because that what everyone was like. But when I actually came back to my home city or my home school, that is when people started saying, you can't have this, because you have to actually place yourself in the coolness level, I guess. And I never fitted in any instance. So actually, when I heard Cowboy express himself like he was secretly singing these songs in his bedroom, I'm like, that's exactly what I was doing. And you couldn't be cool for cool's sake.
I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey. Josh know all about it, bro. You couldn't live your life, man. You had you know it was crazy where I lived at, but it was like it was always stuff you liked. and you just kept it to yourself. Like Holtz is what he's talking about, Josh. Is I was saying, I remember being a kid jumping on my bed with a broomstick, and one of my favorite songs was Black Velvet and the Little Boys. Yo, I'm telling you, but I didn't walk out the house singing no Black Velvet. Nah. Oh man, good stuff.
Word. I mean,
now
that's
do you
actually
guys?
Same thing with how I got into the film scores as well. Like I would listen to that on my own. Like I bought the Incredible Hulk, one of your favorite films. I bought that soundtrack.
Yes.
That film score was amazing. And then you get introduced to people like Hans Zimmer. And then
Yes.
10, 15
Hans
years later,
Zimmer,
now
yes.
he's doing documentary on Netflix. And people
You know what's crazy? Is you're so true. Dude, I couldn't tell my friends out, my close knit friends, so this is how it was. When I was younger, I thought I was cool, right? But when I was in high school, I knew I was like the popular guy. This is gonna sound weird, of like the geeks, right? I sat at the table because I was married, right? So I was the guy. I was married. I already had a girl, right? I used to mess with girls before I was married, whatever. But I knew my friends and we was pretty corny. All we talked about was video games and comic books. But I was the cool dude that talked about the video games and the comic books.
Dorks, you get them, cowboy. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, bro. At the end of the day, so I was that dude, But my friends. So yeah, when you talk about the scores, hey, Josh, one of my favorite scores to this day. And I'll say it because I don't care. But the Titanic score, man, is to die
Yes.
for.
Yes.
It's to die for.
Titanic. I was going to say Titanic is a great score. I mean, 3 of my best moments ever in sort of like geek culture is 2002. I walked out with the 64 megabyte pen drive or flash drive, what you used to call it, round my neck, and some person went, "Look at that nerd with his calculator around his neck." And I thought, a calculator? It looks like not like a calculator. It's a flash drive. One day I walked around with this beige backpack. It was very square on my shoulders. And it's been all around the world with me ever since. And someone shouted in 2003, "Look at that Ghostbuster right there." And I thought... and I thought to myself, that is absolutely perfect. I'm a Ghostbuster. Well done, mate. Bravo. Unique. And I remember thinking about the geek culture in like 2003. And then one day I actually walked into college when I started in 2003, and I walked in with a PlayStation magazine. And I just bought like season 2 of Buffy on DVD. Cost me like $80. And this guy went, "You like Buffy? And you like Final Fantasy?" And I went, "Yeah." And he went, "So does me, but," and we became best friends ever since. But I've known him since like literally 15 years, 20 years since. And I remember, imagine back in the day, no, it was for my sister. But imagine back, it became lifelong friendship, and you think to yourself, how great, like since Final Fantasy X and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that you could meet anywhere from a culture if you just spoke up. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You could say yes and people like you, and you could say no and then you're instantly victimized. So
now
socially shunned.
Chloe asked, did I like Lenny Kravitz? So what's crazy? I wasn't the biggest fan of Lenny Kravitz. I think it was maybe because of my age. I don't know. I'm trying to think at that time when he was super popular, like who did I like? I'm not sure. I would have to I remember watching MTV and the videos and stuff, and I'm trying to remember why, for whatever reason, I wasn't super into Lenny Kravitz, but I was not super into him.
For me, I grew up on Smashing Pumpkins, Rage Against the Machine, Metallica.
Oh, we know. Yes,
even Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, one of my favorite albums.
Stop playing, bro. Alanis Morissette, bro, Jagged Little Pill. One of the albums I listened to the most in my life. Like, I love that CD. I could vividly remember. I used to work at Sears, and when that album came out, and I used to listen to it all the time. That's when I first got married. A little bit, a couple years after I got married. Yeah, man. Good shout right there. Let me see. Ellis said, I remember if you had Jamesport backpack back in the day, you was cool. See, I don't even know about that. Let me see. How do y'all define cool? So that's a good one. All right, Chloe, let's do this. I'm gonna jump in there first. Let's go around the room. Cool for me, it's kind of when I use the word buzz in video games. When people are like, oh, well, what game is popular? I said, dude, you know what I'm talking. Don't give me that. I'm saying a buzz. You know when that game, like Harry Potter right now, has that buzz. Elden Ring had that buzz. Hi-Fi Rush did have that buzz. The buzz meaning it overshadowed the negativity. Like it was so cool that you didn't hear much negative about it. And if you said something negative, you was looked down on. That's cool. Like cool is like it's almost a mainstream thing, right? Now, mainstream doesn't mean everybody, but mainstream means the majority of people thought that was acceptable. So that made it cool. You know what I mean? And it's always in generations and genres that something becomes cool. Now, I'm not talking about something that's cool to you, right? When she says, how do you define cool? I'm saying when something, like I might say like, I like this controller, or I like this, is cool. You might be like, well, you're just saying that you like it because it's utility, right? That doesn't really mean it's what she's saying cool. Because cool, I think, is the majority of something. The majority of people would say acknowledge that thing is cool. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's how I kind of word it. What about you, Josh?
I think for me, speaking as a guy, right, it's probably the things that would get you the most girls, because typically guys that were cool getting all the ladies. So you also asked Cowboy, what was like, how did cool affect you? Essentially, you were able to gain influence, things like that. But at the same time, you would also think things that are cool are things to aspire to, maybe like a lifestyle or a hobby, activities, things like that.
That's good. What about you, FCAT? We'll get to host last. Well, how do you define cool, FCAT?
Cool would just be whatever you find entertainment in or like in your life, I guess, and other people, find the same interests and to consider you cool.
Yeah, host?
I couldn't define cool because people were telling me that I was not cool. So I could never define on the hobbies and interests that I like. So, for example, like if I ever seen like Pokemon cards or like ollies or marbles, what you used to call it, or like slammers and pogs, stuff that actually sold millions, even though I joined in, there was millions of people that also never joined this fab and never created friendships based on it. And I feel exactly the same with consoles, that even though I actually joined a sort of console revolution and stuff like that and spoke about consoles, people always like, oh, we all know that people who play computer games are not cool. And they define that because they were like sort of like the sport image. So even if I ever try to actually relate to a sporting person, that by the time I come from a sporting city where we've got like a very, very popular soccer team from around the world. They're actually known, and in the 90s when they were sponsored by Reebok, my parents could not afford Reebok, and then by the time you bought Reebok, it was changed to another brand and another brand and another brand, and you could never stay cool unless you were in that sort of fab of staying cool. So even though I came from a city that I could like football or soccer, unless you kept up in this brand name, you always shunned as not cool in anything. And now in today's world, with the way people are speaking about coolness now, and they're speaking about nostalgia, and they're speaking about what was cool in the 90s, I was cool, but in that instant of the 90s, I never felt like I was ever cool in anything.
It's funny you mentioned that, host, because in my day, you were not cool if you didn't have slammers and pogs.
What was that? What was that, FCAT? What?
The slammers and the pogs, the pogs.
You better
the pogs.
I mean, do you know what? Right, we in outside my street, we used to have the most derelict. We used to have the most derelict street, and it was never tarmac, so we used to have loads of holes. So back then, if you ever wanted to play, you know, marbles and stuff like that, it was cool in our minds. You know, from the area of going up, and it could have been a wealth thing. I don't know what it could have been, but going to school, the footballers or the people who were wearing the most Reebok and Nike clothes back then, they didn't care about pogs. They didn't care about sort of marbles. But to me, in my growing up, I remember they were the best friendship times ever. And that is why I look at it, that we were cool in our own right. So in the end, now we watch Netflix and we actually watch Stranger Things. I remember looking back going, we were them kids. We were the cool.
Coach, you're explaining your story biasly being cool. You know you were.
In my day, if you had the badass like Poison Slammer, like,
yes,
you were cool.
Would you say that if you had the most, so for example, if you had the most Poison Slammer, you were more cool than the likes of sort of sports kids in like sort of American football or whatever sports they played?
FK, you wasn't getting no girls with the bad Poison Slammer.
And to me, this day, right, to this day, that I'm gonna speak about my ex-girlfriend, and she went to me, when did you become so weird, like in computer games and piano and violin? I was like, I always liked them. And she was like, oh, you never mentioned it. And you realise, to get a certain person, you have to shut the hell up in what you express yourselves. So I feel like we all know what a level of cool is, even though we feel like we're cool in our own area. But you can't express yourselves to a point of expression because it won't get you nowhere, I guess, should I say.
Yeah. But guys, let's give it up for Chloe Diz. Chloe Diz be coming with the stuff. Listen, and y'all didn't know that was good. We got to go dive deep in the definition of cool. So let me just scroll through these comments real quick, see if it's anything of substance besides Mr. Urban World with his nonsense.
I mean, Cowboy, you've got kids. What's the definition of cool now? Do you actually hear hear terminologies that you could sit there that goes against our viewpoints in like the sort of
I mentioned it earlier. I was walking in yesterday in Walmart and I looked at this girl on her feet and she got these I would have called them slippers, but now they're like regular shoes you could wear, and it was like bright neon green furry looking. I know. Hold up. And then I turned and looked down and my wife's wearing like the same things but a different color and different style. And I'm like, but it's like you back in my day, man.
Right. My niece, about like 3 weeks ago, I took her to Starbucks and she was wearing them stuff, and I went, "What the hell are you doing wearing slippers?" And she went, "They're not slippers. They're called sliders." Yep. So I don't know. In America, they called them sliders, and I was like, "Where the hell are you going to slide?"
Slide them on your feet.
Slide on your feet. And I was like, "But you're not going to slide to Starbucks a mile down the road, are you?" And she went, "I will." And I'm going to think to myself, well, I'm not going to argue what's defined as whatever it is. It is what it is.
Now, this is a good one right here. He said, we were going crazy with Jordan. Bro, if you had Jordans, you was cool back in the day. Jordans, that was... What'd you say?
Now...
Huh? Hold on, let me hear. What'd you say, FK?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. What'd you say?
Yeah, I said comic books, like certain comic books, like if you had the Fatal Attraction comic books.
Oh, hell no. Let me say something. This is what I think where I live at. I agree and admitted that when I was in high school, I was like the cool one of the corny group. FCAT. I said when I sat at the lunch table, we talked about video games and comic book. We were not cool. So I don't care what. If you had Death and Return to Superman, you was cool to the nerds. but you was not cool. Girls didn't come up to you and be like, "Yo, you got Death in Return to Superman."
I mean, to me, in the UK standard, you know, Jordans were a thing when it got sponsored, but I'm pretty sure in America they were probably sponsored a lot earlier. So, what time period was the peak of Jordan, of the peak of his branding? Is there a certain area that was cool? Because we talk about branding, but it's sort of like OG Jordans, but like a certain part, but they're not the Jordans that I believe we know of.
Mr. Urban made a good point. He said, "Here's one thing you all aren't mentioning. What's considered cool in the hood may not matter in the suburbs. So depending on where you live, cool. He got a point, because I wonder if girls in the hood would wear stuff I seen where I live at."
Do you want to hear something stupid? Do you want to hear something stupid? Years ago, they were called Nike 95s. That was the traditional name, but they cost £110. And the kids of my area, literally about 15 years ago, used to call them Nike 110s because they cost £110, even though they were called Nike 95s. And you could customize these shoes, and people used to customize them with their surname and their postal code. So these people were very scally in sort of mentality, so hood mentality. So when the police chased them, they went, "Look at the shoes, it says Holt as the surname and their postcode is blah blah blah." But the kids never realised that broadcasting their area to showcase a sort of fab and a name brand was actually causing more hurt than what they did with actually just showcasing the whole shoe. So it was funny.
I don't know anything about that.
That's crazy.
But so I don't want to get stuck on this topic forever, but I'm glad we got to it, because it's something I wanted to talk about a while ago. And so finally, and I'm glad you guys came on, because we was able to dive so deep into the topic, which is pretty cool. But I got something that happened over the weekend, or over last week, and a couple people know what I'm talking about. FCAT know what I'm talking about, and I'm trying to find.
Say something again.
Huh? What'd you say?
So Cowboy got caught up in some console war controversy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did and I didn't, but so I want to bring that up, and I want to say that the internet never forgets. Okay. Can we all repeat that? The internet never forgets. So a year ago, I used to do this show on Wednesdays called Gamer Talk. And Holt, you remember, bro, it was so toxic. Sometimes I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, to me, I've joined you because it's been like 2 years since I've joined. And when FCAT was putting Discord of I was shocked about the idea that, like, I mean, not saying Cowboy, you can't go mainstream on Twitter. And I was like, what's the guy said? I mean, I'm tuning into all the shows. What has he said to create a console war? So I said to FCAT, is this recent? Is this the show that I've missed? And he went, no, it was a year ago. And I'm like, a year ago? What's caused traction? And then Cowboy was like, remember back in the days when we used to have people call it? And I went, oh, crap. Yeah, I remember them days. It's caused traction, so I'm really interested to see what has evolved from these generic Discords and Twitter, and see how the creator actually feels about it.
So I'll say this, right? So I could say whatever I want, because at the end of the day, it was on my channel. So whoever get mad, they got a personal problem. So what happened was Beast of Truth used to come on, right? And he was an Xbox fan, diehard. But I'll be honest, he's a big ghetto. Curse all the time, whatever. But when you got to know him, he was a cool dude. But he was very easily rattled. Like, if you came in and was like, man, Xbox, I don't even know why they went with green. He'd be like, ooh, so he was easily rattled, right? So he never showed his face. So it was cool because Proto ended up showing his face, right? And Proto, if you guys remember, he's in my intro. He got a green or a yellow hat on that was a pineapple, right? So this guy, Beast of Truth, said, you know what? I'm going to show my face. So he showed his face. We was like, yo, that was cool. You showed your face. And A year later, him and his guys getting into beef, and the guy. So here's what's weird. Someday last week, he inboxed me, said, "Hey, can you give me the link to that video I was on when I showed my face?" It was so random, and I haven't talked to him in months. And I was like, all right, whatever. So you know me, I always find my videos, whatever. I sent him the link. He said, thanks. Next thing you know, now mind you, he wanted to find the video himself. But I don't know how the other guy, King Thrash, got a hold of it. And he made little memes about him. They made him into a little leprechaun. I mean, so it was so crazy. But everybody was like, yo, cowboy. And I'm like, bro, I got nothing to do with this. I don't want them pulling me in this beef.
So I see, Cowboy, it wasn't distasteful when you were expressing it at that time. It's something now that they've sort of expressed viewership of someone's face and blah blah, that they realised and went. So as console wars sort of evolved to a point, or is this just something that me and you and everyone else on this panel also know that we're used to from 2 years ago, I guess?
So console wars turned into making fun of what you look like, I guess.
Right.
Yes.
Because this is him right here, right? So, so this is him in the background with the hat on. This is from my actual show. He took the not the mask, but he showed what he looked like. So now this is they.
I mean, what's his viewership? Can I ask?
Huh? What do you mean?
What's his viewership? What's his subscriber rate?
Oh, so he doesn't even have a channel. So he doesn't have a channel.
So in the end, what I'm trying to say is it never blew up when he was on your show in that instance talking about blah blah blah.
No, so hold, let me explain it. What happened was he got into beef with somebody. So somebody, what FCAT said is the definition, what we're looking for. The console wars now is making fun of you. Like, for instance, the guy who's making fun of him even put a picture of him and his wife to say, oh, I got a real wife, because he heard this guy say, oh, my wife. So he was like, show it. Where's your wife? So now they're making fun of how people look. So in this, they took him and made him a leprechaun. This is actually from my channel. So hold up.
Now you're in front of his father. That's how I live my life.
So
wait. You know, I guess that's my take on that, man. If my man,
so what he does, he doesn't have a channel, Holtz. He has Twitter space. He puts it up Twitter.
I mean, to me, it's like, let's go back onto the level of coolness. I mean, is this because he's a gamer, or because he has a certain like sort of bias towards?
It's console wars.
So console wars.
So is a Sony guy, and Beast of Truth is an Xbox guy. So console wars is upgrading. They're just making fun of each other.
So they shrunk him down to be a leprechaun and repressed like that. He's
Yeah. So hold on, I'm trying to find the one video. He was talking about him, right? Because he was like, because in the video he says, "Oh, look at my punching bag." So on my channel,
Andrew Cowboy, right? You like people sort of taking the mick and sort of representing your name and stuff like that. I mean, but how do you feel like overall from a Twitter social space? Do you feel like you don't want your messaging being sort of expressed in a way that makes you feel like you're not cool, or sort of devalues as a content creator? I mean, I know you're.
Let me explain it. For me, I have a big mouth, right? I've always came out here and said what I felt, said what I meant. So no one really has to be like, well, Cowboy said this. No, if I said it, I like to say stuff live. I don't like to be in the Twitter DMs. I already said it. So for me, I'm just me, right? I'm a vlogger. You see me like my video, right? My rant. I said, dude, you can make fun of me and say, well, your house is dirty. Somebody can say like, oh, look at those little fish you got, right? You know, look, it's Christmas wrapping in the corner, right? So for me, I never worry about what anybody say about me, because I'm very open. Yeah. So
when I followed this rabbit hole of a story or whatever, it led me into some pretty serious hardcore zealot like fanboy shit.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to. I
mean, way worse than the fanboys we had on stage.
All right, so hold up. Let me show you guys this. I'm trying to find. It's just funny to me. I'm sorry to bring this up, but I thought it was hilarious because everybody kept contacting me. Cowboy, your video. I'm like, what? But check this out.
He ain't knowing Microsoft. Well, you know, Microsoft ain't got no game. Shut up, they do. Shut up, they do. You know, Sony doesn't have bro. Listen. This is what I'm talking about. People just love to complain. You're a babbling brook. Okay, it's fine. We all love to be on our soapbox. Investigate and get the Earl Grey on you. Hey, Beast, let me get your gamer tag so I can
look at the people here. So we got Proto, we got Frog Boy. That Frog Boy, this was back in the day. His channel blew up. Jersey's on here. Cloud Data. Man, there was some people that was showing up every Wednesdays, and they got crazy and toxic. I gotta find the episode where they was talking about shooting. But anyway, he showed his.
I want to say about the episode because we speak about it on Discord and stuff like that. I remember joining because Cowboy, you're such a great laugh to join, and the invite was always there. And I remember I've never seen this sort of toxicity in the way we explained with the clouds. And then when I joined in, I remember thinking it, and there was Ray and there was me and some of that, and we joined in, and before, I was leading up to Tox, I was like, I'll see you in chat, guys, and yeah, I'll see you that. And I just tuned out before people were saying about capping and friggin' and I thought to myself, wow, I can't believe this, like, so street gaming, and I never believed it could exist. And I was like, I couldn't be the only sort of like, I was sitting there as the only UK gamer standing there going, well, what's a joke and what's not? I didn't know. I was like, okay, I'm tapping out, guys. Everyone have a great night and enjoy your games. And I was like, bloody hell, I'm glad I never got trolled into that.
Yeah, man, it was really great trying to find a spot.
I do love all the sort of piss taking because I remember, like I mentioned about ISO. ISO done a Titanic theme with me and with you first and me next, and he's like, look at these Stadia fans with that. I remember laughing and joking and never ever took offence. And I remember that people could take offence depending on the messaging of your channel or whatever, but I remember just thinking it was all in good laugh. But I know that a lot of people do take it to hit.
Oh yeah, but hold on, let me play this part. So this is on King Thrash channel. So mind you, he made a video that was 38 minutes and 50 seconds. Right? That video, let me see, how many views is this video sitting at now?
Is this of late?
Yeah, this is from last week.
So this is where the like sort of Twitter sphere is blown up.
Yeah, so it blew up, and what he did is he decided to make a video about it. Where is the views? So this is what he got: 5.2 thousand views on this video. 5.2 thousand views. This was 2 days ago. So watch this. Let me play this part.
Right? If you haven't already been presentated with this, and yes, I just made a word up because fuck it. This is the Beast of Truth.
Beast of Truth Uncut Edition.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I gotta do this.
Nice to see you finally.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I didn't know me putting him full screen and all that was gonna come back to bite him. I just thought it was cool that he was on. But guys, hold on real quick, Holtz. Let me bring in none other than Chloe Diz is in the building. Chloe, what's up? Hold on, we can't hear you, Chloe. I think you're muted.
Well, why is so actually fix it out? This was the time.
Look, she's up there singing and whatnot. Chloe, we can't hear you. Go ahead, Holtz.
This was the time space that we were actually in the community, not just the Stadia community, but as the gaming community, that we actually wanted to bring the forefront of people's faces. That there was no shame. You just expressed that this is who we come from, a demographic or a age specific gaming that we all wanted. People, we respect people not joining in camera or of and you can just
no
be
one
in
really,
chat.
no one really cared. Look how many. There was a lot of people who we still don't know what they look like.
But
Look
we loved it, didn't we, in that same sentence when someone came out and went, "Oh my god, it's
we thought it was
amazing,
cool.
man."
And on this, as you see, we thought it was cool, but the guy took this and made it into a negative thing. Chloe, can we hear you now?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. What was you saying? You look like you was vibing and whatnot. What you was singing, Beyonce? Like what was going on?
Nah, Josh was trying to hook me up. I was like, hold on, I want to get on here with y'all. So
that's what's dope. That's dope.
He was doing some technical troubleshooting.
So Chloe, right now we're talking about there was a little drama in the Twitter world, and then it spilled over to YouTube. So I used to do this Wednesday show. It was super toxic and crazy. So this guy decided to show his face for the first time on my channel. I thought that was cool. Had no clue a year later will come back to bite him because this one guy he's beefing with went on my channel and found the video of him, and he's making him leprechauns and all type of stuff. He's talking about his house in the background. Bro, because he was like, yeah, I got a puncher bag. It's like, how the hell you got a puncher bag in your house that small? He was like, yo, it was hilarious. Anyway, his video got over 5,000 views, but he did give me credit in the video. He was like, you want to see the full video? Go to my man Cowboy page. So I thought that was cool because a lot of people was hitting me up. But anyway, let me play a little bit of this because this is pretty funny.
For sure, man. Shit crazy. Y'all use the phone like y'all said.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it works good, man.
It works.
Turn it to the side, then you get that
turn it to the
full,
side. Then you'll get your whole. It's up to you, but if you want to turn it that way, you'll get the whole full screen.
Okay. Shit. I mean, hey.
You know, your phone's probably got a better camera.
Start them comments.
No.
Now look.
Look. All right, so hold up. This is where he's about to roast them. So listen to this. Yeah, this is crazy, but go ahead. All right, here we go.
I'm not one to talk trash or bag or talk about or say anything unsavory about people. But I just want to point out a couple of things. Okay, just so you guys can have an understanding of how we understand. First of all, the man is 5'2". Okay, he's far from a beast. Far from Jason. You know, he's a small guy, and you see all the telltale signs of a small guy. You see, we're gonna break this shit down to the mentality of a person like this. First of all, he wears a regular size hat that looks oversized on his head. You'll notice that throughout the video. You also notice that he puts the camera under him to make him look taller than what he really is. And when they ask him to put the camera sideways so you can get a full view of everything, well, he just didn't want to do that because then it'd make him look shorter than, you know, what he's trying to look like.
Anyway, so he just roasts it. He goes on and on. This video I said is 30 minutes.
Cowboy, can I ask you a question? Was that against you or someone else?
No. So the guy's talking is the guy who just. So the video was regular on my channel. The guy who you hear talking is he just did that a couple days ago. He took the video and he put his voice on it and he started making fun of this guy. So he's gonna.
Okay. Because I was wondering with like the height and the hat, and so I just thought like. No digs. I just thought like, I never tuned into that sort of panel, but I didn't know who he was aiming at because I know he was showcasing it and was like, so it was aimed at someone else. So he sort of came back a year later to sort of target a person that stands at him.
No. So you're getting it wrong. This is what happened. That one guy had nothing to do with this a year ago, right? We was just all on the show. What happened is his name is Beast the Truth. The guy who made the video of him name is King Thrash. King Thrash and Beast the Truth got into it on Twitter, and so to be funny, he found my video so he could make fun of him because he was showing his face. So they had no issue a year ago. It's a couple days ago they had an issue, and he chose to use my video to make fun of him. So it got nothing to do with me. Got nothing to do with a year ago. It's just that it's like what I do to Doc Dark. I scroll through a lot of his videos to find something that looked funny. I got the picture.
I mean, I was just apologizing, you know, your height and your hat. I just defaulted it was to you. You know.
Well,
This is not even Wrestling Wednesdays. It was just I just didn't know it was.
Anyways, I just thought it was pretty funny. Here, let me show you. Let me.
No, Cowboy, can I ask you a question? Would you ever unify you guys back on a panel next week? Would you ever feel like
Oh, me and him?
all you guys on Twitter, on the Twitter sphere that's sort of blowing this,
To do the same show again?
would you ever sit there in hindsight, like a year later, you would say, where we are in sort of console space and the games we're playing, would it be different? And how would you approach that stream a year later?
No, not really. Not really. Because those guys was all about the console wars. Like, they were super toxic. People was talking over each other. Like, no one really cared. Like, you know how we have a good conversation, we disagree, and we talk about it. Those guys was just like, F you, bro. Xbox is amazing. Like, nah, bro. Xbox ain't never do nothing. PlayStation got a better controller. What? Look at this. Yeah, that's all it was.
It's craziness. Like Cowboy Show would turn into Twitter Space like in 10.5 seconds.
Damn there, dude. So the dude Beats the Truth. I used to let him be able to just bring anybody on. I didn't know he was bringing on people he had beef with, right? So he used to be like, P-word, why don't you come on and battle me, bro? So he was doing this on Twitter. Yo, I'm going to be on my man and Now Your Mama Knows channel later on. I had no clue. So people would just jump in. I'll let them jump in. They was like, mother effer. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? It's like, bro, you had all that stuff to say now. And I'm like, wait, what? And so it got super tight. The one dude was like, bro, you ain't never shoot nobody. He's like, oh, I didn't. I'm like, yo, you crazy. I was like, yo, y'all got to calm that down. Y'all got to calm that down. They just going at it. I had to kick them both out. I mean, that's
basically
so
how
reckless.
Twitter Spaces is now. Like,
yeah, it was reckless.
If you
Wow,
Twitter Spaces, like it's like that.
I never knew because you're so in like community heavy and stuff like you actually kick people out. It's been a thing. Okay, it's been.
At the end of the day, YouTube isn't going to tolerate you talking about shooting about guns. And at the end of the day, this is my channel, and I don't kick people out, but. And those shows was the only time I had to. Like I remember TK9 and you know him now. Back then he couldn't stand Chill Gaming or Jersey, and he couldn't stand Cloud Data. They got into it so bad I had to kick them both off. And TK9 was mad at me, bro. Why you kick me off? I was like, bro, I couldn't calm y'all down. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, y'all gotta go. He's like, yeah, but it wasn't my fault. Oh, no, it was Beast the Truth and TK9. And Beast the Truth was like, yo, that's messed up. He was like, it was his fault. I was like, but I was still telling you to calm down. You wouldn't calm down either. But you invited me as a guest. I was like, it didn't matter. It was crazy.
Wow. I love your panels. Your panels have always been epic and stuff like that. And I don't know because I'm UK time, I have to switch off at a certain time, and I don't know how your panel's going to progress later into the night. To hear, I never believed that you actually sort of had to cut people off from the.
If I pull up that clip, you'll be like, did this happen on your thing? It was so crazy. But anyway, guys, so if you guys ever want to go back and watch it, it's called Gamer Talk. And I did probably like 14 episodes, probably more than that. And every Wednesday, and it was no cloud gaming. It was just PlayStation and Xbox guys, and it was crazy. They one day called themselves having an intervention with me. You're the Sony guys. Like, bro, that ain't me. That's your brand. No, sorry. They was like the Stadia guy. I was like, bro, my brand is a Now Your Mama Knows. It got so crazy. I was flipping out. That's probably the most mad I got. Anyway, but Chloe Diz, what's going on? You on here with us? Talk to us. What's up?
What's up, guys? Hello, Holtz. Finally get to meet you in person. I watch you on Tony's show sometimes.
Hello. Sorry, I'm actually stuffing my face with a chocolate bar. And once I heard your name, I was like, oh crap, how am I going to respond? Hello, exactly. Yeah. Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
The accent guy. Well, we got Chloe on here, but also let's bring in none other than CM. What's going on, man?
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Not much. I don't want to just interrupt that. I know that she's the other one that just came in, so I don't want to say much. Just want to come in through. Stop by.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Chloe Diz. Now, you guys might have seen her a bunch of times in some of my videos because they throw these bomb parties we like to go to. But Chloe Diz. First of all, she's the best thing about Josh, right? Let's just put it out there. when I first met Josh, you know, he was a cool guy, but Chloe done cleaned him up, changed his image, and made him something more of a diamond. I knew it was down there somewhere. So Chloe is this person that I truly appreciate and respect. And she's funny, she's witty, beautiful. And Chloe, I'm just happy to have you on here. Chloe, tell these people, you used to literally, for the podcast you guys used to do, used to host it, take over. I remember at first, Chloe, when you first came on the scene, we was like, yo, who is this girl, right? And she was like, hold on. And you and I used to go back and forth like every week. And it was so cool to just see you evolve to the point you was just like hosting and taking over. So I grew a lot just watching you do your thing. And I just think it's cool to have you on here. Because you mean a lot to me, because meeting Josh and then meeting you, well, I know Mike get mad sometimes. He's like, bro, you always bring up Josh. All right, calm down. I met Josh through you. Calm down. But yeah, you guys are like a trio, man. And so it's cool to have you on here, and it's always good to have Josh on here, as you know. And the guys,
like you're like a celebrity.
This guy.
I mean, I'd rather take Chloe and Sandy over Cowboy and Josh. Just saying. Just saying.
Fair enough.
Cowboy. Okay, Chucky.
Listen, I bet Chloe and Sandy won't see me and Josh at Dave and Buster's one day.
Listen,
we have a tournament.
I'm
right,
good
Josh?
at that shooting game. I could do that game.
All right.
That's about it.
But Chloe, listen, since you're on here, Chloe, throw us a curveball real quick. Give us a topic that we could discuss. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff I didn't even get to. I might just have to get to that tomorrow. But give us something from a woman's perspective, right? Give us a topic we could jump on. I loved how you threw in there. Give us the definition of cool. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. But so hit us with something, Chloe.
Okay, topic. Okay. Gosh, thanks for putting me on the spot.
I was just about to say, sorry for putting you on the spot. But.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see. I mean, you know, you don't want me to get into the topics I want to talk about because
I want it because I miss those topics. See, I used to watch Josh's content, and honestly, in my community of content creators, no one touches that. I miss those days. It used to the relationship stuff and all of that. Man, but anyway, listen, I don't know what you got up your sleeve, but hit us with one.
All right. I don't want to take over your channel, man, but I've been like OD watching stuff on Loki and the multiverse. So
yes.
Quantum Mania.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I'm obsessed with Loki. I don't people who don't get Loki, I feel like they don't understand.
All right, hold up. Are you obsessed with the character?
Spoiler free, remember.
Okay, spoiler free.
Okay, are you obsessed with the character or are you obsessed with the actor or like explain?
Both.
The show, the storyline. Like I feel like Marvel was like, meh, going downhill, and then it was like Loki came out, and I was like, yeah, it's about to go down.
Yeah, but wait, the show Loki is like a year old.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I was so disappointed with every movie before Quantumania, and people probably don't even like it, but I love it. Like
because you really liked Loki, so it like came full circle for you having Kang in there, and
it continued the story for me. Like I thought it was gonna happen in the Spider-Man Spider-Verse thing, didn't happen.
Right.
I thought it was gonna happen in Doctor Strange didn't happen. I was so disappointed. And we went to go see that together, and you saw how sad I was. I was like, what is this?
Now here's what's cool about Chloe. I bet I thought she was coming differently, and she brought up the Marvel.
Look, okay, can I I'm gonna confess something, Tony. So just because I'm on your show. So the first do you remember the first episode we were on together ever?
No.
Pop quiz. Josh, do you remember? Taking back that.
Why don't you reminisce with us, Chloe?
Yeah, enlighten our indulgence.
Reminisce with
Chloe. So it was actually the first time I met Tony and Mike, and this during the pandemic, and we did a Disney party, right? We did the Disney party show, and we watched Spider-Man.
Oh, the Netflix. When we used to do the Netflix thing. Yeah, Netflix watch parties.
The watch party.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into-
Favorite Marvel movie. Even though it's
Yes.
a cartoon.
Right. It's
So that was
animated.
my first one. And me and Tony went back and forth so
We
bad.
did.
We went back and forth so bad. I was like, okay, I like Tony. I was like, I don't know. Tony, I don't think Tony likes me. I told Josh, I was like, I don't think he likes me.
Oh, nah.
And then the next show, we were talking about The Matrix. And then we were talking about, what's the one with the werewolf guy? Was it the werewolf? Or the
Underworld. We did the Underworld.
We watched the
We did
Underworld.
Underworld.
And I didn't really watch that movie. I just pretended like I watched it. So I can get on the show and talk about smack.
Wow. So you targeted me.
I halfway watched. I was trolling you big time.
Yo,
Big
man.
time. Because you love that movie. And I was like, man, that movie is trash. And you're like, what do you mean it's trash? I'm like, yeah, it's trash.
Hey, Josh, you see this? Josh, you put her up to this?
Hey, you saw it for yourself. Remember, she kept asking you who John Cena was. Chloe, who's John Cena again?
I don't know. And then I was like, wait, I went to the grocery store and I found little ice cream sandwiches and one had John Cena on it. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try.
I mean, I don't care about these wrestling guys, but you know, you actually speak into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy, and you actually mentioned a lot into what we just mentioned about Convergence and Doctor Strange, and you mentioned Ant-Man in the Atomic Realm. I'm nodding, like going, bloody hell. Yeah, that's what the show should be about, not other stuff. But yeah, I totally agree.
Going down.
When does part 2 come out?
Part 2 of Quantum Mania thing?
No, Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Soon, it's soon.
Oh, yeah.
July? Maybe July-ish? Summer?
Either shooting or should be done shooting Loki Part 2.
Right. Should be a game coming out too.
I mean, I was in Quantum Mania, and they actually done the Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse sort of trailer, and they said coming soon into summer. So we don't know if we've got an official date, but we don't know it's going to be summer.
Oh, it's definitely coming because the 4DX, I'm gonna go see that in 4DX, and it's definitely going to be in 4DX.
I mean, do you remember the end scene when sort of she actually goes to Miles Morales? Come on, jump into like sort of the multiverse, and it's like, wow, what could actually happen? So I'm really excited for.
I'm excited because they're gonna have Spider-Man 2099. So when I was back in comic books back in my day, they had the 2099 universe. They had Hulk 2099, which looks like Godzilla, Spider-Man 2099. So I thought it was cool that they're gonna have the 2099 comic book character in the movie. So that's what's pretty cool.
I mean, I never knew. I mean, Spider-Man 90s is what mine was. They never actually done the multiverse because I never read the comics. But when you see like Spider-Man Punk, Spider-Man from Spider Pork, Spider Female, Spider whatever, I never seen that. So Spider-Man 99 is in my mindset. I actually don't know it, but I remember growing up in the Marvel 90s sort of animation style, but never from the comics. So you're a lot.
Nobody knew Loki was actually written by the guys behind Rick and Morty, who also made High on Life.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's probably why I liked it.
And the other guy got in a lot of trouble, so he had to step down, and he will not be back in Rick and Morty.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Is he
people
gonna be
getting
back in
canceled.
Loki?
Well, he was just a writer, so I don't know, but I know he had to step down from Rick and Morty.
He got into some like cancel culture stuff.
Yeah.
But here's one for you. When we actually watch the Loki TV series, even though it's like Loki, the Loki that we know from Avengers or female Loki, and it's led to Kang, and now we've got other alternative parts of Kang, what actually captivates you to the Loki series?
I think because it's like it steps outside of what we know. So like I think the part in the series that got me, spoiler alert, was when he opened up the drawer and it was like all the Infinity Stones were just chilling in there.
That was crazy.
Oh yeah, we used these as paperweights. I'm like, what?
So what you're trying to say? What you're trying to say? It's a new step in a future franchise that we could see in 10 years, where we've seen the power scale be reduced to what we know from the Thanos days and stuff like that. I was just saying that when we seen that paperweight, like, oh yeah,
like what is power? Like it's about perspective, right? I like it because it really pushes your thinking on like what we know. It's like one of those things that's like pretend like you don't know anything. It's like fresh start. Like forget everything you know because this is what you know. It's like conspiracy theory 101. And it's like, I don't think people understand what's really about to go down. Like it's about to go down.
No, I think that's a good point because it's like you're saying, it's what you think you know, right? And then this show just takes it to the next level. It's like you think you know stuff and then it switches it up. And I thought that was pretty cool about the show.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see what happens next. Like I'm so ready. And honestly, I didn't even care for Loki. Like I wasn't one of those people like, oh yay, the Loki show's coming. Josh was like, hey, look, we're gonna watch this show about Loki. And I was like, okay. And then the first episode, I was captivated. I was like,
and I think that's the coolest thing is when you didn't care about something, but that's how you know you genuinely appreciated that content because you were like, whatever. And next thing you know, you're like, it was great.
Yeah, I'm into fan theory, all of that stuff. Like I did.
Oh my God, I remember listening to some of your stuff. I used to be like, what is she talking about? She's going off the deep end.
Yeah, I had to get you to watch it, Tony. You didn't want to watch it.
I didn't remember. Yeah, I was like,
now the question is, diving into fan theory, how was you right? Was you more right or wrong in your fan theory? I mean, it adds to the fun. Episode to episode, we're all like that, don't we? We go to the Discord or the sort of Reddit and we talk. Can you actually see where the direction's going in a series, or do you feel like you're caught off guard?
I don't know enough about Marvel because I didn't read the comics and stuff. Like I collected the comics, but I didn't read them. So like I got a whole stack of comics I never read. But I like the theory because it's conspiracy theory. And then it's like some of the stuff they actually take. I feel like a lot of the producers and stuff and the writers, they watch these fan theory stuff and it's a little bit of fan service, which I like. Cool. Not too much, but like I'm not a diehard Marvel fan. Like I wouldn't know the difference. I'm just a fan of a good story. So for me, it's like watching the fan theory. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like, oh, what if that happens? Like, what if this happens? Oh, that's the connection. Like, it gives me more history about like the actual storylines. What's similar to the comics? What's not? Like, what's in the MCU? What's not? And then these people who are diehard comic fans, they have like really like diehard feelings about this stuff. So for me, it's kind of like I'm listening to all this information, and then I base my own theory off of like what they say. Like, oh, that would be cool. Like one of the ones that's coming up now is like there's going to be a King versus Killmonger. And that's definitely gonna happen. Like they in there taking pictures together. Like they're friends. So of course it's gonna happen. But it's like when, how, where, why, and then like to hear people talk about how it's gonna go down. I'm like, okay.
Let me ask you this. When Spider-Man, Loki started it, right, with the multiverse. Spider-Man took it to the next level, and then Doctor Strange did his thing, right? Mm-hmm. Does it not bother you guys, and we could go around, does it not bother you that stuff can happen, but it's not real? Like, for instance, you know what used to bother me? Is when I watch a movie and someone dies, and then they're still in the movie or show because they're a ghost, and the person talked to the ghost. Or it would be a dream, and they wake up and it didn't happen. It kind of bothers me when the stuff happens and it's not real. So it's kind of like, well, if I was watching a show and it was really a dream, and at the end you realize it was just a dream, you're kind of like, well, what did I really watch, right? So does it bother any of you guys that a lot of stuff we may see coming up in Marvel isn't really real because they're going to use the multiverse? Like, for instance, Doctor Strange, I won't say, I mean, I will figure people seeing it by now, but in Last Doctor Strange, they brought some characters in, like X-Men people, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't really real because technically they're just from the multiverse. So you can do anything in the multiverse. So it's really not real. Does that bother you guys? Or you just love the entertainment of getting to see this person versus this person? Like you said, like a Killmonger versus Kang. Like, what was to be the point of that? But just to see it, but if it really just happened at some far corner in the multiverse and it wasn't the regular verse, does that bother?
I mean, I never came from the comics or from things that you can actually pick from. So when I actually go to the movies and I actually watch this sort of cinematology movie, I could be shocked or wowed by a direction that is not the direction that comes from the comics. Mm-hmm. So as long as I put my money down, I can go, oh my God, wasn't Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania me? And then people can go, well, it wasn't a comic, and I'm like, okay, I get that, but from this instance in consumer media, I was not drawing from an animation or a comic. I'm pretty sure they could say exact the same if I sort of say a gaming experience going to the main screen. So in the end, I feel like in this instance, I'm getting my value because I don't know these characters, but I can understand the disheartening of fans being disgruntled because they didn't follow a timeline. But I think with time and issues, you get with the times, you evolve with the story, and I feel like that if I look at Marvel the last 10 years, from like I didn't like Iron Man, I didn't like Captain America, but then when they came into a timeline that was sort of Endgame and Infinity Wars, they become epic. So in the end, I can see how directors are starting to say, stick with us and we will create a greatness cinema moment. And that's what I'm feeling with the current Marvel and Disney and stuff like that, that I'm going to stick with them now. And I'm like, you wowed me. I haven't got a clue. But in the end, I will get the gist of it 10 years from now when we've got this most secret wars. And I'm like, and that's what's going to be.
I tell you what kicked it off for me. For me, it really kicked off at the What If series.
That was dope.
Like, dude, if you didn't see that, you're not gonna understand this new multiverse stuff going on. Yeah. I mean, it was really good. Like, even though a lot of people didn't like it or understood it.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, CMG?
Well, with the Marvel, I don't know. I mean, I like Spider-Man. I mean, I gotta get up on it. All I know is that I gotta get up on it. The only hero that I know which is best is from DC Comics, and that's Batman, and which is the best superhero there is, hands down. Batman's the best, you know, and he's in DC, you know. But I like Marvel.
I hear you, brother. Spit that talk, Harry, man. I hear you.
Yeah, I like the Spider-Man. You know, you got it's a lot of good comic. You know.
But all right, so Tony, I understand your point. I respect that you've been being consistent on that for a while now. I get it. However, would the Cowboy actually mind? Would Tony Stark Jr. actually mind if they brought another Hulk and introduced him to the 616 MCU? Come on. But let's be serious. Number one. Number two, it was already in the cards. These Disney contracts, these Marvel contracts are very creative. They already said that RDJ is coming back. This is how he comes back in a plausible way. And again, you get to see so many, like FCAT was right with What If. I loved how they used the artwork that reminded me of the Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse. So they're using that animation to really let your imagination go to different combinations. So there's so many things that you could do, and it'll work.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, and that's how we get in Gamora to come back.
So with that, is there a Junior Hulk? I mean, I don't know, but Junior Hulk is such a character. I know She-Hulk and Hulk, Bruce Banner and stuff like that.
Yeah, so let me break that down. So in the comic books, they sent Hulk to another planet, right? They kind of loosely put this in the MCU, but in the comic books, they sent Hulk to another planet. Well, actually, they was trying to kill him. They sent him out of space and shit.
Yes, of course, Planet Hulk and stuff like that. Yes,
right. So he landed on the planet. That was Planet Hulk. So on that planet, he meets a woman, gets married. She's super strong. Also, they have it, so she was pregnant in the ship. The ship finally detonates, blows up, kills her. It didn't kill his kid. So what a lot of comic book fans would love is if they do World War Hulk. What happened was he came back to Earth.
It's not Valkyrie, for example. He hasn't sort of intermingled with Valkyrie, because we've seen in the past movies that he sort of had a sort of love interest for Valkyrie. Then he Hulk did.
Love interest for a Black Widow.
I know. No, Banner had a love interest for Black Widow, but Hulk had an interest for Valkyrie, didn't he? When he was on the planet with Thor.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was that strong. But anyways, so Scar, his mom is supposed to be somebody from that planet. So, But yeah, they showed Scar.
I mean, how are you feeling that like in the next Marvel iteration we've got the children of sort of Hawkeye, Iron Man, Hulk, or not Thor because Thor's a child, but you know the next in line of Thor. Do you feel like is that what something you want going forward in the Marvel universe?
I'll tell you this.
It's necessary. But go ahead, Cowboy.
So I'll tell you this and let Josh take it over. I don't. This is sad, right? But I'm just being honest. I don't think Marvel's ever gonna wow me as much as they did. What they did leading up to Thanos, probably one of the best villains you could have. They had the most popular characters, right? This new future is going to be characters that I never really liked and wasn't popular to me. So I don't have a connection with them. Now, I'm not saying the movies can't wow me. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. They were unpopular characters for me, and then they became real popular.
But when they actually bring sort of the X-Men, they bring the Silver Surfer, they bring Apocalypse. Yeah, and so, when they start bringing them characters in, you're going to be wowed.
So the only thing could wow me now is the X-Men if they do it right. So that's the only thing. But where the Avengers are going, it's kind of like it's going downhill for me. Kind of like Chloe was saying earlier, right? She wasn't liking any of the movies, and then she seen Loki. It was like, oh, cool. So make her more excited after what happens at Loki, the last episode, which leave that alone if you ain't see Ant-Man. But it make you like, okay, what am I looking forward to? But for me, yeah, I'm not excited at all for any of the new Marvel movies. They're just becoming popcorn flicks for me. I know they're gonna have the crazy action. It's gonna be funny. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm not gonna walk away like I can't wait to the next one. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll see the next one. Versus, because you guys remember when you're watching the whole saga with Thanos, you couldn't wait for each next one. Now it's just like I don't even know the next movie, and I really don't care. Just give it to me, and I'll watch it. So that's mine.
So I think that Disney, they made some mistakes or some missteps, right? Mm-hmm. So because of this new technology and then with 2020 pandemic, whatever, they were trying to push out as much content as they could. And then they were launching like Disney Plus. Well, you guys must know this by now, but they did huge layoffs, right? And then they changed the director or whatever, Disney. They went back to the other guy. I can't remember his name.
Bob Iger,
yes.
CEO, yep.
So they fired the new CEO that was in charge of all this new content, rehired the old CEO, and had major layoffs. So what they're doing now is I think that they're tabling the Teen Avengers or whatever, and then they're tabling that for later. I'm just paraphrasing. I'm not like a Marvel expert. But like they're doing that, and then now they're putting out less content. So I think that we're going to get more of that substantial content moving forward, because before I felt like they were just rushing projects, like, all right, hurry up, we gotta get this out, we have to have more content. But now because they cut their staff tremendously, they're going to have less staff working on bigger projects for a longer time. So we're not going to get as much content, but I think that the content moving forward will be more substantial. That's just my opinion.
My only issue is when I look at comic books, cartoons, video games, the theme is a character, right? Like you get into fantasy stuff because of characters. For instance, you go watch The Love Boat and learn a new character. You go watch a movie with Viola Davis and she's playing, I don't know, the woman queen, the woman king, right? Blah blah blah. You could just have right. But when it comes to a comic book and a cartoon and a video game, it's these characters that you already heard of or are familiar with, and you want to see what they could do. My issue with Marvel is we done seen Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, Hulk. We seen the popular people. Now they're talking about, I don't even know. Like,
well, to me, when I actually watched Marvel back in the start of Marvel, Captain America and Tony Stark, Iron Man was a row on my list of Marvel characters, and I came to love these characters because of the movies. Some are hit and miss, but in the development of the franchise, I love these characters and other characters that I did not know, but I came to love as well. But when I actually look at the idea of Spider-Man jumping the franchise, I'm like, well, I know Spider-Man, even though he joined the MCU. Right. And I'm like, when we look of X-Men, which was Fox, I'm like, well, I know the X-Men. When they join it, I'm like, wait there, this is starting to become my point of view. And I feel like, wow, if you don't do wrong, you're on a winning track. If you sort of create the same momentum what you've done from the first 10 years of creating from it was Hulk to Iron Man to Captain America, and it built momentum, but in the end that was from Samuel L. Jackson's character, wasn't it? He was the leading force. Fury was the leading force of building the team. So in the end, I'm like, I understood that at that moment. So going forward, I need a figurehead and a narrative of what is happening. If you keep on saying convergence, multiverses, and blah blah, I'm going to be lost. You need to tell me a straight line how I'm going to follow it in the next 10 years, and that is how I'm. Because in the end, you could say Kang now is the enemy, just like we've seen in past Marvel movies, and then 5 years later we found out Thanos was the ultimate tyrant, and that is exactly the same. You're promoting Kang, but is there something after Kang? And I'm like,
I look at it as like survival of the fittest. Like, I feel like we're going to, because in the multiverse, we're going to learn different variants of the same person.
I mean,
you're gonna fall in love with one of them, and you're
I
gonna.
mean, that's exactly. That's what I was actually leading to. I mean, imagine you've got Tobey Maguire, the Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Tom Holland, for example. I can't remember. And imagine them fighting to be the Ultimate Spider-Man. Your heart would be broken, wouldn't it? And you think to yourself, imagine that was the Secret Wars. Imagine we've got Tony Stark coming back to reprise his role 10 years from now, and he's defending his role as the Ultimate Iron Man. You'd be disheartened, wouldn't you? Like, oh my god, but is Marvel going to go that route? And you think to yourself, this is cinema magic, but would Robert Downey Jr. reprise his role? Would the other Spider-Man reprise his role? Would Captain America reprise his role?
But see, isn't that why the secret invasion wars are happening? So, like, what if these characters that we learn to love are actually Skrulls the whole time?
That would be so crazy.
So, and that's why I think it's going to go. I feel like baby Robert Downey Jr. comes back and we find out this whole time he was a Skrull. Like... Like, can you really love him?
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. I wouldn't have it.
Maybe in a different reality, different universe, that could be a reality, but not in the 616. But to me, well, to Tony's point, I feel like it's necessary because Kang is the bridge to all these different realities, especially to Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, Nathan Richards, and X-Men. So that's how you can have it all in there. So for me,
it's just so
you have to have something for the future, right? Because as Holtz talked about, it's 10 years in the past. So you have to go forward, especially with all these young consumers that are your kids' age, right, Tony?
That's real.
But I feel like the whole point with Kang is like a Kang is a council, which Kang is a council, and it doesn't matter what happens. There's always going to be a Kang. We've seen that, and in the end, that the idea of the Spider-Mans, Iron Mans that we love could shift, and it's gonna be a painful experience that if we see like Tom Holland Spider-Man go beat by this person, then wouldn't you like to see Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man come back, and we all cheer for that? Wouldn't you love our Captain America that we knew from 5 years ago come back?
Here's the problem. Everything you're saying, the problem is these people in real life are getting old. So
I know,
the only slap in the face is when you bring back somebody from back in the day and you look at them like.
I know, but you've seen. Let's just go back to Star Wars, Disney. We've actually seen they actually do Luke Skywalker. They actually de-image him to look young.
But it wasn't like he was on the whole episode. He was.
No, but in that instance, you're thinking like in 5 years, why couldn't we actually de-image Robert Downey Jr. to look like his young?
Yeah, but
Iron Man
role though.
Iron Man, for example, wouldn't you want, for example, what we know as prime Iron Man. Wouldn't you want Robert Downey Jr.? We could see different casts, male, female, ethnicity, and then out of nowhere we see Robert Downey Jr. come back as Iron Man out of nowhere, and we go, "That's all Iron Man." And
That's fine if it's a small part, right? Because here's the scrutiny. If he comes on and the technology don't look good, I mean, I thought Gemini Man looked great with Will Smith and the old Will Smith, the young Will Smith. People like, no, like it's too much nitpicking once you start using so much technology. So what you're saying, yeah, but if he's on there longer than 10-minute screen time, you know what I mean? Unless, I mean, technology is getting good, but like
Tony, doesn't he have a suit? Like he could be an old man in a suit. It's not like he's like fighting people. Like
Well, we've seen, like, from the DC universe, we've seen Old Man Batman, we've seen Old Man Bruce Wayne, haven't we? And he's like Batman from tomorrow, and he's like, "Oh well, I'm Old Man Batman." It's like we could have exactly the same points. Who wouldn't want Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man?
all right, so I don't want to get this on a Marvel show. We can do this some other time.
See, I told you it was a rabbit hole.
Marvel.
Let me hear from FCAT or CMG. You guys,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Only last thing I want to say, we have to give our props to the only reason why we're seeing all these Marvel movies, even though they're going out of control. But it all started with Wesley Snipes' Blade. That's where it started. Then we got, Hugh Jackman and X-Men. That's where it started. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
I agree.
The only
CMG.
the only X-Men that I know which is the best X-Men you watch is in the 90s. Fox 5 X-Men, the one in the 90s. Also with Disney, if they knew my channel, I used to tune Disney. I used to be crazy over that. All through the 90s with Darkwing Duck, I could go with Tailspin.
They're actually bringing back the 90s.
Bunkers, Goof Troop. If my logo had the Darkwing Duck, that's why my music is Darkwing Duck. If you notice my old intro, that's why I had that music, because I'm crazy about that back in the day. So DuckTales, so all that, Tailspin, all that. All that, Gargoyles, all that. Those are the stuff I used to watch. The old X-Men, VR Troopers, yep. I could go on and on. So, those are the stuff that I used to that's nostalgia right there.
Yeah. That's dope. Can we move on? Or Holt, look like you want to say one last thing.
I came back, put my headphones on, to actually VR Troopers.
Yeah.
That was Charity Gaming.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say exactly. I've respected someone. VR Troopers, oh my god, how amazing was that? And I thought to myself, I thought I was actually hearing it, and then I actually put my headphones on. I was like, oh my god, what a great show.
So
mad respect.
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
All right, guys. We're gonna transition from this comic book cartoon stuff. So we're gonna talk about something that Chloe, I'm gonna let her lead us into this. So let me just do a topic switch, and we're gonna get into this, and I'm gonna have Chloe take over. All right, so just hold.
Topic switch.
All right, so Chloe.
Pepper spray.
Hey, listen, that's how you got to switch the topic. So Chloe, something happened this weekend, and I want you to lead us into this. So this weekend, somebody waited 1 year to get a chance to get his back. Kind of like my show. They took my thing 1 year. So Chloe, can we talk about this for a moment?
Sure, let's talk about it.
All right. So one, you obviously know about the slap, right?
Yes.
So instead of the snap, we're talking about the slap.
We went from the snap to the slap.
Did you get a chance to see this?
We watched it last night.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Do you guys hear feedback?
No, no, you sound good to me.
Okay.
What is your thoughts, first of all, on the slap? And then as we talk about this, I want to bring the guys in and see what they have to say. Better yet, can you just for the people watching, and I know a lot of people watch this next day, but for the people watching, can you just explain the the slap, like what happened, and then we're gonna get into it.
Okay, so the slap happened at the Oscars. And Chris Rock got on stage and he was hosting. He was hosting like he was supposed to. And then he gave a little joke, which I thought was very mild, about Will Smith and his wife. Or I think he made the joke about his wife.
About
Long
her
story
dress.
short, Will Smith was laughing first. Then he looked at his wife, Jada Smith, and was like, she looked angry. So he got up and then he smacked Chris Rock.
All right, so that did happen, guys, and he made a joke about her dress. He said she looked like G.I. Jane. So because she had
her
the
bald head.
yeah, and she had I guess a green dress.
Green
right?
dress.
Yeah. So that happened, and we all up to that point, man, Will Smith for me was a squeaky clean rapper. He don't curse. He was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the nicest guy. Never knew he had a bad bone in his body. However, we know about the entanglement, which was Jada Pinkett Smith. Well, we can say it is what it is, right? She was sleeping with her son's friend. He's a lot younger than her, and anyway, but they, I guess, was broken up or whatever, right? So long story short, this happened. So I kind of want to bring it up because it actually it was like, wow, a year later. I think next week we make 1 year. And so he kind of got to get his back a little bit, made some jokes on him and everything. I just wanted to get from you, what did you think about the special? Do you think, are you okay with him bringing it up, getting a kind of like revenge a little bit? I thought he was classy about it from the beginning. I felt like he really didn't talk about it much. He kind of just like, it is what it is. And even in the show, he kind of not loose spoilers. You guys got to see it because it's jokes. So you got to watch it to get the punchlines. But he kind of said, look, dude's bigger than me anyway. Like, come on. So I thought that was cool. He made a little fun of himself because people don't like to make it like somebody could beat them or whatever. What was your thoughts on the show?
I thought that on the show itself, I mean, it was okay. Like, I was expecting more. I feel like everyone's so afraid of cancel culture right now that they're not making jokes, like real jokes.
Yeah.
It's very, very watered down. I feel like it was just for him to get the bag, for him to speak on it finally on his terms. But like, I thought it was watered down. Like Chris Rock. I mean, one thing that I did notice is he dropped the N-bomb a lot, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just saying it for no reason.
But his day and age, that's
But,
like, I felt like that's
listen,
just
for his day and age, he said way better jokes. But you
but you said the cancel culture, right? So nobody's canceling you from saying the N-word, but you get canceled.
You can say the N-word 50 times in a minute, but you can't say anything, God forbid, that might be, you know.
And don't say it, Chloe, and get me canceled.
Listen,
right?
I'm not gonna say anything. What I am gonna say is he said the N-word a lot, and I appreciate that.
Gotcha.
And I felt like it was like kind of encouraged for him to say it. That's how I felt. Because it's like, yo, it didn't even go with the joke. You just saying it.
Right.
And then like how you just said, well, back in his day, he could say it. No. Back in his day, he could.
Well, I just know that I remember having a super filthy mouth, and I remember saying the N-word like every 5 seconds. So I feel like he's just when I watched it, he reminded me of where I came from, you know. And so I was just like, that's standard stuff. That's the way I look at it. You know, it's not my taste.
The Netflix show. And like, bro, if you want to say that, at least say a funny joke. Like, you just saying and it's not even funny.
Yeah, it definitely. I thought so. So one thing, I didn't even know this was going to be a thing. I heard about it. I think somebody in the chat put it in my Discord, like maybe the same day, if not the day before. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know this was a thing. So you know what? I'm gonna watch it. So I watched it, and I thought it was gonna be more funny. And I felt bad because he messed up the joke going into the Will Smith thing. But he kept it going, so it was cool. But let's bring the other panel members on, see what they got to say. Chloe, thank you for recapping that. And we're going to get the guys back on. None other than Mr. Josh Warren and CMG.
If you've ever seen any Chris Rock's earlier stand-ups, that's pretty standard for him to say that word.
I understand that, but other stuff was standard too. But he washed that out for this special. So why did he
No,
wash it out?
but Chloe, I feel like it's what you could get away with and what you can't. Him saying the N word, you could get away with it. Him saying certain jokes, you know what I mean? He's not going to get away with that.
It's literally my point, Tony. Thanks for stamping that.
I didn't even get to see it. It's no, I got Netflix. I guess I gotta check it out tonight.
You gotta echo, Chloe.
Hmm?
You gotta echo.
I know I have an echo. Can you fix
Gotta check it out.
I think it wasn't that good, but I guess I looked at it as a story. It was almost like wrestling to me. It was almost like a year-old story of two guys. You had the good guy and the bad guy, and the good guy won. It was like a swerve, right? The guy who was the good guy turned and became the bad guy, and then it took a year later for the other guy to overthrow the bad guy. And at that moment, he really leaned in with his jokes and as far as talking about his wife. And I felt like, you know what? Gloves was off, and it was okay for him to do that at that point. So I was curious on what you guys had to say. You see, Rude Diggs is
Ron brought up Sex in the Champagne Room. Remember that music video?
I remember that. Let me see. Hold up. See what he said. Why didn't Will Smith slap the guy who slept? Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of people had that same thing, and he kind of brought that up on the special, which I thought was pretty cool. But Chloe, what I was saying was, it was almost to me just more of a story. Like it was like this year-long story where the guy who was the squeaky clean good guy turned bad, and then the guy was the underdog. We watched him wait a year later to get revenge on the bad guy. The guy now turned to bad guy. And I think what was cool was he waited to the very end to bring up that segment. He left it for the end, and then he just went in, you know, on his wife and everything. But
so I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. Are there any Trump jokes?
No.
I don't think so.
Really? Because his last one, he did a lot of Trump jokes.
You unmuted yourself on your computer.
Yeah, I don't think so. Holtz, do you know anything about this that's going on? Did they talk about this in the UK?
Yeah, it was very a topic point of view, because we all love Will Smith from like the 90s and stuff like that, and we didn't see the idea of this. We seen it as a comic point of view, but then also we seen it as a domestic point of view of you slapping the shit out of someone from a comic point of view. And he's like, keep my words out of my wife. And it's like, I could sit there and say, as a comic point of view, keep the white guy out of your wife's mouth. And in the end, it's a comic point of view that you realise that why we loved Will Smith and why we loved other comedians was because we all can take a joke, and it's not to be. And what you done is you don't get up there on the Oscars and slap someone for a joke. And as we seen in topics is, Will Smith laughed. He laughed at the joke, and everyone would have applauded Will, and he would have had contracts left, right, and centre if he just laughed. But then he looked at his wife and he went, "Oh shit! I have to defend my wife." And you think to yourself, you can see it, can you? Oh shit! Oh. And there's only one winner of this, and it wasn't Will Smith. And in the end, you sit there and we could apply this, across loads of ethnicity, loads of races, loads of sexuality, and in the end, it was just a pinnacle point in the Oscars, should I say. And this is going to be a point where we're all going to laugh and joke because we've got comedic value. It's not because we're against gender or race. We're laughing about it because it was just something as a joke. For example, it wasn't disheartening. And yeah, that's all I see of it. And I would love Will Smith to come back because I love his movies. And I would love to see Hollywood just say, yeah, you had a downfall approach, but you know what? We deserve you in movies. And I would love Will Smith to come back if he just laughs it off, should I say. That's how I take it going forward.
Can I comment on that?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Chloe.
It's completely opposite. Like y'all want to cancel everybody else, but when Will Smith get up there and smack somebody at the Oscars,
I mean, who would you cancel? I mean, the question is, I've never been there in a counterculture. My counterculture was always against like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or against two gay guys kissing people, or certain something. I come from a counterculture where I don't feel like it is a mainstream point of view. So seeing Will Smith just defending his wife in that instance, even though I don't defy his wife, I'm just trying to say, is that a cancel culture industry in the idea of the sort of Golden Globes or whatever it was defined at that instant?
I mean,
I'm with Chloe, though.
Like he smacked him, right? And then his wife went on TV and said, "My husband don't gotta defend me." Like she didn't even want him to smack him. Like, well, how could you just?
No, but what I'm trying to say is that I understand that Will Smith defended his wife. I agree with that. I agree with that point. But I wouldn't want Will Smith to be cancelled because of Holly woke agenda, because I would love to see him in movie roles going forward, even though he just said, I had bad taste in what I did, and I slapped the shit because of my ideas of...
Let me jump in there real quick. I'm with Chloe on this. Here's my thing. There are, first of all, I disagree with you. You say he defend his wife. You sit in that damn chair and defend your wife, right? By saying nothing, because you're at an event and it's a comedian on stage. And my wife and I, right, when we went to a comedy show, the comedian could see us, and I'm black and she's white, and he went in, and you laugh because he made all these jokes, right? You know, you sitting in the front row. That's what comedians do. You bald headed. You got a black dress on. If I would have came up with, I thought the joke made sense. G.I. Jane, like it made sense. So I feel like, no, I don't want to give him an excuse to say defending your wife. No, you take the joke like everybody else. Whatever you had in the issues on the ride there, maybe you shouldn't have walked in.
Of course, I agree with that. I agree with that instance. You know, the comedian is actually ripping you because in what they see. But what I'm trying to say is, on that same defense of like sort of Will Smith say, I defended my wife, even though his wife's I'm not gonna say bad names against her, but even though he just goes in the same optics, he's saying defending his wife in that instance, even though it was poor taste. I admit that Will Smith, what he done it in, was poor taste. I'm just trying to say, in the movies that I like him in, I wouldn't want him to be cancelled. So for example, say like Men in Black. I want him to be in Men in Black. I want him to be in blah 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 Gemini Man sequel, because I love Will Smith, and I just feel like him defining poor taste in that instance, even though it was all surrounded by Hollywood, I wouldn't want him to be discredited, because I can easily look the easy eye and say, well, what you done was bad taste, but do you know what? You're a good actor.
What if it was a woman up there that said something crazy about her? And
Exactly the same. I mean, I've been there with like Captain Marvel, for example, and she's been running left, right, and centre, and I'm like, oh, I don't care, but I love Captain Marvel movie, the actress that plays her. I've been there when the screenwriter J.K. Rowling in Harry Potter, and I'm like, oh my god, she's a female, and she has a lot of things surrounding her, and I'm like, well, I love Harry Potter.
What if Will Smith got there and smacked the woman and then said, I'm just defending my wife? Would you feel the same way?
Well, okay, right. I wouldn't as a man, but the question is as a...
Hey, Hope, you don't gotta answer that, Hope.
No. I'm gonna ask it right. I'm gonna ask this right. From a straight woman's opinion, would they want to be defended across and be slapped in equality point of view. Now, I personally wouldn't get up there and slap the left, right, and shit out of a woman for equality because it's my definition as a man. But if a woman pointed a view in equality where she feel like she could take it, then that is where I'm dividing the line by going, go girl, you do what you do, but don't. It's
So,
sort of.
let me add something in there that neither of you said.
Oh, go
So
ahead.
hold up real quick. Let me add something that neither of you said. So the reason why I'm with Chloe, just a thought of, and I get you, I'm with you too, host, right? It's sometimes get annoying, people get canceled. But my issue is this: neither of you guys, it is what we're talking about, but you didn't specify. People get canceled for words. He did actions. That's my thing, right? Like people get canceled for making a joke, but he actually physically assaulted an individual. You
Yes.
know, and that I feel holds more weight than when someone gets, and I think that's what Chloe's point was. Like, how is he not getting canceled when somebody else get canceled? They make a joke or they say something,
Whoa,
and he actually physically hits.
But it's the same from same point of view. What I actually believe from a disability point of view, that when disabled viewers actually visit the sort of comic relief, they're wheelchair users, they're vision impaired users, they're deaf impaired users, and they have got no choice but to go to the front of the row where the comedic value is to pick at them. And and I accept, you're disabled, you're fat, you this, you have to take it on the chin. But what I'm trying to say, there's people out there that realise that they love this actor, actress in a comedic value, and they realise they're the default value at a joke. And that is where I'm trying to say that some people can be taken as an offence, just like Jaden took offence in that instance with Will Smith. So
To me, I think it's all a publicity stunt, personally.
Oh wow!
Because as Mr. Urban World was alluding to, both of their careers have prospered tremendously, and I think to Holtz's point, I think
Will's?
that
I thought Will took
it
a hit,
reminded
right?
me like of Rihanna and Chris Brown, because after that point, both of their careers skyrocketed. So controversy definitely sells, but on the surface, my first gut reaction when I saw that, I was like,
Will Smith definitely got canceled. Like, nobody wants to.
Yeah, it definitely didn't work out for Will Smith.
Like that anymore. Netflix dropped him. They said no Bright 2.
I mean, I've seen.
That was a favor. You didn't need to remake that.
Yeah, Bright 1 was.
I've seen HBO Max and Netflix drop actors well before the likes of Will Smith. So the question is can Will Smith defend his career going forward? Because in the end, we're going to laugh about it 2 years ago, I guess, and then we're going to move on. Could we actually see, Bad Boys without Will Smith? Could we speak about Independence Day without Will Smith? And the question is we could all laugh it off and just move on with the series without.
I agree.
Without the
my only
politics.
point was I wanted to jump in there because he physically hit somebody, right? So it was I think Chloe was just saying, man, they cancel everybody else. Why not him? But he is getting some backlash. But
and he actually said to me, he's doing more press charges against Will Smith because he knew his sort of comedian world tour is going to actually value more in doing that joke. Will Smith slapped me, and that's the end. That's it. That actually gets him more money.
Yeah. And
well, what about
Chris
you,
Rock's
Cherry Man? Oh, go ahead.
Last joke reminded me of that because he was like, "Yeah, we're not supposed to do this in front of other folks, right?
Oh,
you're supposed to do this in private."
You big dummy.
But also, I feel like no one else is even considering the fact that when Will Smith won his award, like you put a tarnish on their legacy. Like he won the award for the movie about Serena Venus Williams. What was
King
the movie?
Richard.
King Richard. Like, how selfish is that? So from now on, Serena and Venus Scott and their father's legacy is tied to you smacking another black man. That's crazy to me. And for that, he should be canceled. I don't care how many bad boys coming out. I don't care. You want to see Will Smith?
Yeah, I mean, we've actually seen Serena Williams. She's been breaking rackets, and people have been saying, "Wow, you broke a racket, you're a cheat." And of course, she is literally leading in that sport, and she's broke rackets. And then people said, "Well, you're cheating because you broke a racket," and I wouldn't sit there and ever say she was ever a cheating sportsman woman going forward. But in the end, people actually sit there and say, in that instant, they're trying to say, are you breaking your racket to consume a better win by having a new racket and stuff like that? And I don't agree with that, but I'm trying to say Serena Williams.
Let me hear from CMG. What's up, CMG?
Hey, I just been listening, man. I just been trying to listen. That whole Chris Rock situation was crazy. I saw when he slapped the hell out of when Will Smith went up and slapped the hell out of it. It was just crazy. He was somebody was saying that Will Smith was a really good person. He's not really known to be. Now he gets a little hood in there because he's from Philadelphia. He's right. He is from Philly, so he's
the west side of Philly. Born and raised.
I mean,
which is pretty plush compared to the other side of Philly. So,
yeah.
I mean, to me, I would see that Will Smith, Chris Rock, a slap. I feel like it's between friends. I understand that is not the instant that was portrayed in the sort of Oscars and stuff like that, and I understand. There's a certain aspect that would benefit from it, but I feel like we should laugh it off. Even though it's like, we can defend your wife, which is a true point, even though you were wrong in that instance. And then you go, well, you had a joke as a comedian, which is great. The joke was perfect. I can't say nothing against it, but can you understand that to a certain point of view, it was poor taste, and in the end, it's just.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. I'm sorry, Holtz, but it was in poor taste. He called her G.I. Jane, and she just got on TV with him, talking about how
he was saying G.I. Jane because he was the short shaved head, wasn't he? He wasn't sitting there saying like female bald issues. He was just trying.
The joke was pre-written by Chris Rock. So the joke was pre-written by Chris Rock's team.
I know.
He rehearsed it before the show, and it went over fine.
So the question is it Chris Rock's team that was at fault in the end that we can't say against?
Nobody was at fault. It was a joke.
Will Smith was at fault for getting up there and smacking that man. That's
you know what the problem. You know what the problem is. You know why that he went up there and he popped him in the face? Because he was, when a man is in love with a woman, he still loves his wife. I guess he's so hooked up with Jada Pinkett, so in love, so he probably felt some type of.
Yes, to me, I thought is that even though it was poor taste, I felt like he was getting up to smack to defend his masculinity at that point.
I'm just saying, Jada got on TV after. He said, "I don't even want him to go up."
Here's the question: is for example, say it was Will Smith and he just carried on laughing, and he didn't get up to defend his wife. He would have went home and he would have got freaking terrorized.
She did it to him anyway. She literally did it to him anyway on public TV. She said, "I didn't tell him to go up there."
Yeah, of course. I'm not trying to say that she had a point of view. I'm just trying to say in that instant.
Hold on. Are you insinuating that it was better for him to slap him?
I'm just trying. I'll say this instance. If he got called out in that instant, right or wrong in my actions, I can apologize for my actions. And right or wrong, if it was defamatory against me or my wife, I will give you a smack and then I will apologize. Say, sorry, cowboy. In that instance, I took it the wrong way, but you took a smack. Well done. And we could sit there and go, because I'm trying to say, in that moment, I felt enraged against it could be sexuality, point of view, or my wife.
I want somebody else to weigh in, but I'll say this: the reason why it was an issue is because it's not like you're a regular person and you came to the show and you got upset. He is a actor, a comedian. Like this is nothing new to him. He should be so seasoned to know that he's done that to people when he was on stage, you know. But anyway, let's bring in somebody that has to just speak his mind. Guys, we're gonna give it a big warm welcome for returning none other than Big Mike.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yo, Big Mike.
What's up, people?
Big Mike, what is up, man?
How you guys doing?
We missed you.
Yeah, man.
I'm here. What's the topic about? What are we talking about right now, man?
So
Marvel topic, Mike, and Chloe brought it up.
Yeah, Chloe brought up Marvel.
Damn, Chloe.
She said it too. She was like, "Listen, I don't want to take over the show. I'm thinking she's talking about relationships." She brought up Marvel, and it just went on.
Cowboy, can I ask Chloe, as the only female on the panel, if she was there in this instance on a comedic point of view,
okay,
and something got made reference to her, would she respect her fella defending her, or would she defend the comedic value of it? I'm just curious. You don't have to answer. I'm just curious in that instant. No? Go on. No?
Out there and smack somebody. I would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yes.
This is bad. You
Hold
just
up,
ruined our check. Like you just threw away the bag, bro. Like I can't even go on vacation next month because you just screwed it up over that joke. Like you just said any joke.
By the way, we just went to the comedy club, so that's like intentionally going to the comedy club and then getting offended that the comedian made a joke about you. Like who does that? That's where we are in society right now. It's outrageous.
I mean,
wait, hold up, back up real quick. Hold up, Chloe. I was trying to let it be you and Holtz on screen. And when I pulled Josh off, it muted you. Could you just say the beginning?
Okay,
Sorry, I
I'll
didn't know it was gonna do that.
I'll say if Josh got up there and smacked the comedian, first of all, if Chris Rock of all comedians made a joke about me, I would be so flattered. I'd be like, he could have talked about anybody at this show, but he talked about me. Number one, he's a comedian. Number two, if Josh got up there and smacked Chris Rock, I would be so embarrassed. I would be ready to pack my bags and hide under. Like you just messed up the bag, bro. Like you just ruined our money. Like I wanted to do some more investing and you just went up there and smacked Chris Rock. Now we not getting no more contracts. Now I got to do a whole nother red table talk over something stupid because you decided you were in your feelings. Like I'm not even mad. And then she said it afterwards. She was like, I don't need him to defend me. After he went up there and smacked
She did look mad though. She did look mad.
Yeah,
we can't
she's
act
an
like
actor
she didn't
too.
look mad.
They're all actors, right?
The whole thing was she was.
But
I mean, Paul.
Wait, hold on. If she was acting, then what was the point of what did she want the response to be then? If she was acting that she was mad, what was that for?
Who knows? It doesn't matter what she wanted the response to be. He's a man.
Right.
He should know better. If he wants to mess up his money and he allows his woman to do that, who clearly doesn't care about him because she got him on TV, embarrassing him about his life and her entanglements. Like she literally interviewed him about her affair.
But we've seen Will Smith. Will Smith actually went. He looked at his wife then. So shit, I know.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's because he might be going through something where he don't want to pay her or something. Maybe he messing up his bag because he about to make some moves and he don't want her to have half. Because that's the only thing I could think of. Not
let's
all
hear
this
from
chivalrous stuff, because that was not chivalrous. That was
Big
stupid.
dummy.
That was
Well, let's hear from Big Mike. And also, I want to say this Chloe versus Holtz thing is amazing.
Chloe versus anybody's amazing.
Yeah, for real, bro. Chloe will make you a star.
Chloe
Chloe will make you a star. Well, go ahead, Mike. What's up, man? What's your thoughts?
First of all, the image of Josh slapping Chris Rock is funny as hell. By the way, like, why? Love that. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if you're talking about the special or not, but I thought it was funny. And what Chris Rock said, I said the moment that it happened, I said Will Smith is putting all his anger from all the years of people talk about him and his wife, call her all types of names, and he put all that out on Chris Rock when Chris Rock said that one joke. It was like Chris Rock said rappers, comedians, Breakfast Club, all type of shit was talking about him as his wife. He didn't say nothing. But when Chris Rock said one joke, he slapped him. So I just feel like it was selective outrage, and I feel like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That one joke about her hair. So I felt like it was wrong, in my opinion. I said that before.
I mean, say flip it on its head. If that was anyone else that wasn't Chris Rock, do you think it would actually be worse or more leading
It wasn't
to
anyone else. It was millions of people for years calling her a whore, a homewrecker.
I totally agree with what he was saying. I'm trying to say, if that was anyone else, we love Chris Rock and we actually love the idea of, Will Smith. I mean, I love that idea, but I'm trying to say is, if it was anyone else, could you actually see it in the Hollywood scene that it could be worse?
He wouldn't have got up there if it was anybody else. He got up there and smacked Chris Rock because he knew he could smack Chris Rock.
Because he knew he could smack him because it was Will Smith. Yeah.
Because he's small. And then he said it in the special. He was like, yeah, this dude played Muhammad Ali. He's like, I played Pookie. Like, he's huge. He's huge.
I said, I guarantee you.
How you smack somebody to turn your back to them? Like, that's disrespectful.
I said, if it was The Rock hosting those Oscars and said that same joke, Wolf would not have got up there and smacked him in the face. I guarantee you.
No, not at all.
Nope.
But you know what though? At the end of it, I'm glad that Chris Rock didn't do anything back. I just feel like at that stage, being the Oscars of all places, it would have been so terrible to hear that these two guys start fighting. I think the outcome, Will did whatever he did, but the outcome was, for me, was the best outcome. He just let it go, didn't say anything, and he's a comedian. So a year later, he got to say what he had to say,
And getting paid from it. I ain't mad at Chris Rock either.
Kept it professional. That's what he did.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I would love to have done the same thing. I don't know if I could.
He did flinch. He did make a move like he was about to do something, but then
He thought about that bag. He was like, I'm not fumbling this bag.
Yeah, man. I mean,
he said he took it on the chin like Pacquiao. He like,
yeah. Nah, man. So guys, I think we talked a lot about this. I only got two other things that I want to go over. I don't have to go over them today, but I like to do spoiler-free stuff. No spoiling it, but I kind of want to bring up The Last of Us from last night. But not spoiling it. Then you guys, did anybody see it that didn't see it that watches it?
Yes.
I'm not gonna. You've seen it?
Yes.
You didn't see it. All right. It's no spoilers anyway. But I just want to discuss.
I'm about to jump out anyway, but I'll catch y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, I just wanted to. He said, "Look, I'm out." I just wanted to discuss it a little bit. So let's switch gears and let's talk about this. So I thought last night's episode was my second favorite episode, next to the one with Sam and Henry. I felt last night really cemented Joel. I'll just say cemented Joel and Ellie. And it had a lot going for it. It was emotional, it was actions, it was twists, it was turns. So I really liked it. And if I could rate it, I would like to give it a 9. It was a good episode to me. Let's just go down the list. I'll go to Josh.
Oh yeah, I definitely felt it was a 9 as well. Again, even though the season finale didn't come out, as of right now, my overall grade is going to be a 9, and it can only go up I don't think anything's going to make it go down because I'm looking at this long term. You can't have everything in one season. You get to spread this out over years and years and years and years. So for me, I appreciate where they're going. The storytelling has been excellent. So I can't wait to see what they have in store, to be honest.
You, Mike?
Last night, I would give a 9. I think it's Samantha Ellie by herself, more than just Joe and Ellie. And what she can do. I won't say anything about that, but I'll say that. But I'll give it a 9 last night. Also, my second favorite episode. I am overall in the series. I wish there were more. In fact, I said in our chat, stuff like that. But, hopefully the season finale have a lot of them there. So.
Yeah. What about you, CMG? Do you watch it?
I ain't get a chance to see it yet. Still ain't get a chance. Yeah.
It's pretty good. What about you, Chloe?
I see maybe like a 9.5.
Oh wow!
I like this one, even though, like you said, it had an infected in it, but I thought it was dope. I like this. I think this is my number 1 episode out of all episodes.
Nice. Nice. What about you, Holtz?
Not my favorite episodes. I mean, we actually reflect back to previous episodes, and we've actually seen character developments and stuff like that, and we've actually seen one character. Not saying who it is, one character go on and they realise that if a circumstance happens that they actually need a certain person or a certain role to actually develop in a society that is actually happening in The Last of Us. To me, I'm like, wow, I actually really enjoyed it. And I was really happy to see a reference in the gaming community. Not going to tell you who it was, but to me, I was like, wow, it was great, but it wasn't epic to the last episodes that I could actually say 1 to 7, should I say. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the end episode, and we can actually unify 1 to 9 because I know this episode is not going to be top heavy in the series of 1 to 9. It was a great episode. It was enjoyment. I really liked what Ellie was doing. Spoiler free, and yes, of course.
If you could give it a rating,
5 out of 10.
Damn.
I know, right?
No. You guys have to realize this, right? The past episodes have been amazing, and you can't actually have this epic point of view in The Last of Us and then say this is a 9, 10. There's been past episodes that literally define The Last of Us, and you can't say this episode is not anything but a 5. It's a mediocre, and I'm happy with that because
listen, no one's here to change your opinion.
No. I'm not saying in a negative point of view. I'm just trying to say that from a last point of view is that we can see where it's going. And we can see where it's been. For example, 5.
Right. 5. I think what's cool is this show. So the game, as many of you guys heard me say, there's a list of games that's the best game I ever played. This is number 1, right? And so for me to see them make a show of the best game that I consider I played, it's kind of cool. And I see when they do twists and turns. That's why I always watch the thing at the end.
Well, Cowboy, I've got to ask you this question: is that my dad's 70, and actually, we're watching this TV show because he's 70, and he goes to himself, "Is this from a Christian background?" I'm just like, I can't remember a Christian background, but I can remember the Winter Towns issue that has Ellie, blah blah blah, and he's like, "Yeah, but does it come from a Catholic background?" It's like, no, I can't remember that instant. So to me, my dad at 70 is sort of saying, is that a different point of view when you played The Last of Us in 2013? And I'm like, I can remember instances that, which, as you know from the IGN comparisons and blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, that didn't happen. But in his instance, his law, that's his story, that his going forward, should say. And
yeah, so what I was going to bring up was if you didn't play the game, it's still a great show, right?
Yes,
if you
yes.
played the game, for me, I'm very critical and I'm also biased. So some things I'm like, like for instance, the episode 3 with the 2 guys, that's all I'll say is I really loved the episode, but as reflecting on the game, it was they said it that this, out of every episode, this we deviated the most, right? But it still was a great episode. But then when I rate it based off of it sticking to the game, it kind of bothered me. But I just wanted to bring up the show. I just wanted to do a spoiler-free thing.
Hold on. I'm asking you a question, Ant. You got a second? I'm asking you a question. Yep. How did you like the casting of David? Because I know a lot of game players, so they didn't like it. The casting of David for the show.
The David was the church guy, right?
Right, but in the game, he's like super opposite, apparently.
So you know what's crazy? I beat this game twice, right? When it first came out, well, I guess what Holt said 2013, and then some years later they remastered it on PlayStation 4. It's been so long, some of it I can't remember. Like I can't remember what he looked like, so I can't wait to watch the IGN thing. And if you guys aren't watching that, like I showed Chloe today, it's I don't even care if you never played the game, but just to see how they switch people up and how people look identical and how people don't, just to see the different words they use. And each episode video is pretty short. The longest one was like 8 minutes. But here's something that's cool. If you guys watch the show, they do like a little 5 to 10 minute thing after it. The one guy, how do I say this? The one of the guys that was in the cell, I say that, right? He was the original voice actor for Joel. So what's cool is they let him be in the show. That was cool.
I mean, this is where I'm actually coming. You actually seen Troy Baker, which was our Joel, literally in 2013, right. And I'm not. I think he's actually a great character. He's a good-looking guy. He deserves in Hollywood, and you've seen him in these movies that he is a rugged beard and he's playing blah blah blah, and you think to yourself, wow, that's our Joel. You have to watch the episode to see what happens, and I mean, mad respect to the character who's actually playing Joel, but you actually realise that what they've done in Hollywood to merge the gaming is in a great respect. I never felt like it was disingenuous, but I actually feel like, wow, it's a situation where it is how medias bleed into each other, and it done well.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Also, the lady, another cool fun fact, the lady who plays as
yes.
the main person for the Fireflies, what's her
Marlene.
name? Marlene. She actually is a voice actor from the game. She was amazing that they let her come back and play as the character in the show years later.
She plays Ellie's character.
That's mind-blowing. No, Marlene.
Can I just say that when you showed me the video, like the side by side, it made me like Ellie, the actress that they picked for Ellie less.
No, I Cowboy always puts in this
Why, Chloe?
He does these IGN comparisons, and to me, I do not follow Cowboy's IGN references, but to me, Ellie, the way she slang talks and the way she expresses, Ellie is Ellie in my mind, and the way Joel expresses his point of view is Joel in my mind. And I know we're talking about 10 years ago, but I don't need the likes of IGN or an expression to view a point of what was right or wrong in saying a terminology of slang, swearing, point of view.
Yeah, she after seeing that, I was like, doesn't.
Why though?
Didn't resonate.
Why?
Because the girl in the character in the video game, she looks a lot more innocent and a lot more
Okay.
fragile. Like her, but like Ellie looks a lot more dingy. Like she looks a lot more rough. Like the girl,
In the
little
game?
girl in the video game. No, the one in the video game, she looks more fragile.
You never watched them, Holtz? I mean, Mike.
Yeah, I watched it. No, I watched them both, but I just thought that she sounded the same to me. Like I thought she was doing pretty good as Ellie, honestly.
Not the voice,
So
just the
here's
image.
the thing. She's talking about the image. Here's my thing, and so remember when it was leading up to it, guys, all I kept doing was complaining. I said the girl and the guy looks nothing like them, but they're winning me over. Like they're winning me over.
Can I explain this right? And this is a bad image. For example, the girl who plays Ellie was actually suffering from bulimia at that instance, and she is so drawn in the face of bulimia at that instant. And you think to yourself, in The Last of Us, being malnutrition and without resources, why wouldn't a girl look like that in that instance? And to me, that is not the character's fault or the sort of pain. That what I'm trying to say is actually realistic. And when she's actually saying, I could name loads of episodes where I feel like she is Ellie through and through, and you could say no, but to me, she's Ellie through and through. And to me, because it's the swearing, it's the cursing, it's the sort of the bad girl.
Same thing.
Yeah, of course.
That's the essence of her, but she don't look like her. And that.
No, but no, it's just to me. I was not asked about how she looks, and I wasn't asked about Joel the way he looks. I wasn't gonna dictate how Joel looks, but to me, actually, as I watch The Last of Us, he is Joel to me. I mean, I love in this episode. I actually seen the voice actor of Joel actually play, and to me,
They don't look nothing alike.
no, I don't.
He seems like the Joel in the video game, like just from the side by side.
No, but to me, I still get that father defensive.
Yeah, I see what you mean now, Clef, when I look at it right there.
Right? Like, and it shows them talking. Like, even how she speaks, her voice is more feminine. It's more like, I'm a helpless little girl. Like, this girl, she ain't helpless. Like, you know she not helpless.
Yeah, but if you...
I mean, Ellie at 16, it's no matter where you could portray your areas of whatever, how we got brought up. We know we're freaking cursing in the areas that we're brought up.
Why do you keep bringing up cursing? They curse in the game, too. It's identical.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Ellie is a cursing character, and it doesn't matter what ethnicity she is portraying, she's going to swear and curse because the way she is brought up. And we've seen in the game and actually in the sort of TV show that the adults are sort of blown away by the way she curses, because that's all Ellie. Ellie.
Where we live at, that ain't.
I'm looking at her face. Like,
Holtz.
I just see somebody looking like more, like, look at the picture on the left. She looks like a little innocent girl, but she curses. And the one on the right, she looked like she went to juvie or something.
I mean,
It could be where she's from in real life. Isn't she from like Wales, something like that?
I realized this. I realized this in Last of Us, and I googled it. The actress is actually suffering from body dysmorphia. She has actually got eating anxiety, and that is hence why you actually see that her face is more in tune.
No, it's not about her face being sunken in, because like there's a lot of women with body dysmorphia that look more innocent.
That age.
I don't know. Like I don't know if that's an excuse that would change her face.
Well,
but
at the end of the day,
like,
hold on.
girl,
Let me jump in there real quick. It's just long story short, because y'all are dragging this thing out. The Chloe's just saying she felt like Ellie just looked a little different. She could be a little more dingier, blah blah blah. But if you play the game though, you'll see that.
I know. Well, the whole point is that Joel.
Hold on. If you play the game though, Chloe, you will see like
I mean, to me,
Ellie gets down. So watch some of those videos I show you. Some of them.
I watched all the videos, Tony. I spent 3 hours watching them. That's why I came up.
To me, we started this right. Joel to me was not my Joel, but then I watched HBX Max Joel, and he is my Joel. And to this point is that we have actually seen the voice actor in Joel in this character, and we've realised is how respectful is these characters now that HBO Max is actually creating the idea of Joel and Ellie. And to me, if you fast forward 9 weeks ago, I would actually give you a different point of view, but now I'm actually enjoying the actors. They are growing on us the point of view that, to me, I'm like, how are they going to go into season 2?
Listen, I enjoy the acting. I agree with you on that, but I'm just saying, like, from what I could see with my eyes, she don't look like the girl from the video.
No.
On the standalone, like if I played the video game and then I seen her, I'd be like, okay, she captures the essence of her, but they probably could have made a person that looks closer like her.
No, but to me, right. I'm going to say this as an instance. Joel and Ellie do not look like the characters from HBO Max. Right. And for some strange reason, I'm in awe of the characters from HBO. They are amazing. The way they actually portray the scenes, and Cowboy knows this because he actually watches IGN scenes back to back, and I don't. But the way I actually watch these characters, I go, they are my Joel, and they are my Ellie.
How old is the chick that plays her?
She's 19.
See, that's the problem.
No. But in that instance, but that could be
an old woman playing a little girl, and I could see.
Yeah, but we don't realize in this instance, this scene could have been shot 2 years ago, and all we know is, to me, that is Ellie the way.
She old.
Yeah, but it's fine. Listen, it doesn't even matter.
In the little girl, the video game, the little girl, like it's a difference.
I get it.
Yeah, my issue that I felt was reason why this game ended up becoming, and I'm a tap dance around it if somebody's watching. Reason why this game hit me so hard is because what was it, 2013, 2015 it came out, right? All right, we all know what happens the first 20 minutes, right? We know what happens to Joel's daughter, right? I'll say that.
Yeah.
And I said this before. I just felt like in the game, she looked really young. Now, mind you, in the game, they said, when I looked it up, said she was 12. In the show, they made her 14. But even in the game, she looked like she was probably 10, 9 or something, right? So what happened to her, you make it, huh?
No, Ellie was always portrayed, Ellie or Joel's daughter.
No, Joel's daughter in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying Joel's daughter in the game was 12. In the show, she was 14. So, and that she's the same age as Ellie now in the show, which is 14. That's why it's that connection.
She's 19 playing a 14-year-old?
Yes.
That's the problem.
So
my
thing
was, she was in Game of Thrones. She was a kid. She should have been that age playing this role.
I know.
That's my girl. That's a little bear right there.
She should have been that age now playing that role. Like, then it would have been, I'd have been like, oh, okay, I see it. But she too old.
Well, what I was going to say to you was, I think when you look at a character, right, and you just looked at the game one, she seems kind of younger to you. And so when you look at her, you're like, So yeah, I get it. What you're saying is like, you know what? Maybe the connect isn't there. But I will say this though, Chloe. Here's the beauty of it. She does have a young looking face, but here's the thing. Eventually, they're going to have a part 2. And if they use somebody that was too young, then they would have had the issue with recasting somebody a little bit older, because the fact that she is 19, take a couple years, she's gonna look older, and then in part 2, it'd be like,
we know, Cowboy, that this actress was recorded well before the instance what we know now in 2023. This actress was recorded in 2021. Like you just said, by the time we actually get into the idea of The Last of Us Season 2, she might be a bit too old, depends how she matures, but she's going to have to be our Ellie. That's our Ellie. And to me, that's the instance where, You know, I've actually seen a lot of characters from the voice actors, and I was against the idea when season 1 of The Last of Us started, but then I realised, wow, they actually are my Joel and Ellie at this moment on HBO Max.
I feel like we just going around and around in circles at this point.
No, I realised that, but the question is when season 2 starts, what do you actually want? The question is, I believe that I want the same characters that are in season 1.
Well, why I wouldn't want them to change them now?
How old is she supposed to be?
So she's in season 2 in part 2. I'm trying to think how much. Some time did go by.
Isn't it like 3 or 4 years later? I think.
I would say we're over 2-3 years. 2-3 years.
So she is. So she's supposed to be. She was supposed to be. She's 14, and so she's still. I guess she's still like in her late.
But the question is that I am not questioning these actors' age to represent it, because in the end, I was always discrediting these actors. I never believed this guy from The Mandalorian is always going to be the Last of Us Joel until I actually saw him play Joel. And same exactly, I never believed this girl from Game of Thrones was ever going to be the gay Ellie until I saw her play Ellie, and that's the point of view.
They're doing a good job.
There we go.
Yeah,
They're
doing a good job. All right, guys. So I want to get into this. If you guys could jump in here with me, this is my last thing I got, and then we could bring up whatever if you guys want. But spoiler free, right? If any of you guys want to chat on this, if you've seen it or not seen it, again, I think we did a great job at spoiler free. What we just did, right? We tap danced around it. People are probably like, "What are y'all talking about?" But we know what we're talking about. If you didn't see it or you did see it, I kind of want to bring this up because I've seen it. I at least want to give a rating. But did any of you guys get a chance to see Creed 3?
I did. I rated with you.
I'm gonna take a break while y'all rating this because I don't need to hear nothing.
CMG, did you see it?
It's another video I need to see. I hear a lot of good things about it. I still didn't see this.
I personally think the story was good for what they tried to do, right? I think it was my least favorite out of the 3. But if you just take it as it is, it's a boxing movie. And, going from, if you've seen part 1, part 2, leading up to this, I was cool with it. But I'm trying to think where my disconnect was. I'm trying to put my finger on it. I don't think it was bad at all. You know what my disconnect probably was? No Rocky. Maybe that would have been a little touch that I would have liked. But I thought it was good. And if I was to say part 1 was probably, if I give a rating for part 1 as a boxing movie, I don't know if I'll give it more than an 8. Part 2, I feel like I equally enjoyed part 1 and part 2 in my memory. So maybe I would have gave them both an 8, and this I'll probably go down a little bit as a 7.
All right, Josh, you didn't see it, right? No.
And let me just say this: as for the story, I thought was decent.
You didn't see any of them?
Not one.
Oh wow.
Okay. No, that's cool. But the story I thought was decent. My expectations, for some reason, I guess it just didn't meet. Like I thought it was going to be better than it was, but not by much. Like it kind of gave me what I thought it was going to get. For some reason, I just really didn't. I don't know, connect with it. And then the third thing is that the entertainment. It was entertaining. It was cool. I look at movies as from what the trailers show you is how much did it really give you what you thought you was going to get. And based off of what you already seen from part 1 or part 2. And I feel like it really did do that. It just wasn't high on my list for whatever reason. So I will give it a 7. So go ahead, Mike.
It's funny. This became a big Mike Little review. Anyway.
I know, right?
Old school style. So for me, I didn't like the story. I thought the writing, and that was Ryan Coogler's little brother, Baby Coogler, whatever, wrote the script. But I thought that like as I'm watching the movie, right, and something happened, I'm like, no, it should have did this. Like I was being like a script doctor watching the movie, but when it happens to me, I know like, okay, the writing wasn't good. I feel like they could have went another way, in certain ways. As a boxing fan, right, certain things that make sense to me, which I won't say, of course, now, but from a boxing standpoint, not only in the ring, but also some of the stuff that led to the fights didn't make sense to me. Is that me? Okay.
No, that was.
Okay, gotcha. So I'll get into that. If you're a boxing fan, you know what I'm talking about. I thought the directing for Michael B. Jordan for his first time out, I thought he did pretty good, but some of his choices I didn't agree with, which again I won't get into until Josh and Cole sees it later on, stuff like that. And I don't know. I feel like Rocky could have been used in certain spots. Honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like they missed like
They barely mentioned him. Like they mentioned him like
they could have used him. Yeah. And there's certain things that happen. I'm like, yo, Rocky would have been there. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't really.
Didn't Sylvester Stallone say or Michael B. Jordan say he didn't want to be a part of it?
No, Stallone said he didn't want to be a part of it, and then it was cool because right before I seen it, I watched this whole thing. He said he didn't want to be a part of it because they kind of like checked him. Like he was like, "I don't need to be a part of it." It was like, "Okay, then you won't," and he was like, "I won't," and then he got mad and was like, "Well, he wanted to, and they didn't reach out to me," and they was like, "Well, he said he didn't want to." So that's what happened.
Well, he don't want to because he don't have the rights to none of Rocky. He created Rocky. So it's really a back and forth with the producer guy. Nothing to do with Michael B. Jordan, really.
Well, it's a shame that Sylvester Stallone actually said, "I don't know what to do with Rocky," and blah blah blah. I'm going into Creed. But the idea is that Creed was actually meant to be the idea of, it was his father, and then with Rocky, and they developed a 1, 2, and without 3, I know Rocky was going through a lot of turmoil at the moment, and I feel like they should have tied in the fan service in, Apollo Creed and with Rocky going forward, and just left it at that. But for some strange reason, Hollywood is actually sort of diminished the idea of Creed 3, and I realised that there could have been a lot of fan service going forward and likes in what Creed 3 could have developed from the idea of Rocky and the idea of Apollo.
Yeah, that could have gave it that extra push, but at the same time, for Michael B. Jordan, maybe it was good for him to try to make the movie stand on.
No, I mean, we understand that, but the whole point is as a third movie in Creed, you do actually need that sort of. They could have done that in movie 2 and pushed it onto 3. So in the end, that maybe at the start of 3, they should have done some trivia to Rocky and then moved it on.
I agree.
And no one would have cared. And it's without that instance of the idea of Apollo versus Rocky that moves on, and you've sort of like done this gangster mentality that could have been Creed 1 if they portrayed the movie without Rocky. And you think to yourself, what are they doing in the Hollywood movie?
Well, hold on. Let me just rate it real quick. I didn't finish my rating, so I'm gonna go with. I'm actually following Anthony. I'm gonna go with a 7. I think it also was the worst of the 3. Wasn't bad, entertaining, like I said, but it just was some things that was lacking for me when I watched it. So that's all.
Now, could you remember what you would have gave part 1 and 2?
Yeah. Part 1 I gave like a 9 to, honestly, and part 2 dropped to like a 7.5. So they're going down for me. I'm gonna say one more thing. Hold on. Jonathan Majors though was excellent. He was great in the whole thing. He's great in general. So yeah, he was good.
You Lovecraft, did you?
I did not. but
come on, man.
I fuck with Majors though. He's dope. He's dope as Kang, obviously.
They were just practicing for their scenes together in the MCU. This I view this as. This is just them rehearsing for their scenes in the MCU in the multiverse with Kang and Killmonger. That's it.
So the question is, I'm asking is, like, for example, is it because less Rocky, less Apollo Creed, and more gang culture? Do you actually feel like that we're dropping the views because of the idea of where it's going? Like, would you give more viewpoints if it was Rocky? If they paid attention to Apollo Creed or blah blah blah, for example, do you feel like it's just missing
I didn't see really
itself?
I didn't feel like a lot of gang culture was there, but I do feel like Rocky was missing. Like I said, I feel like there's certain parts he could have been in it. But it had the regular. If you've seen a Rocky movie or a Creed movie, it has normal stuff like the training montage, right?
Yep.
And all that stuff. That's all regular stuff that happens. But even the training montage was weak to me compared to other movies, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was hoping, again, spoiler free, they was gonna give like a Drago Rocky type thing. Remember?
Right.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they about to do it, and I was like, oh wow, they didn't. Listen, it's a good
entertaining.
movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. If you like the other two, it's okay. But I think most people would be like, yeah, it didn't hit the mark like that, but it was good.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I've been disappointed so far this year. Quantumania was only okay, average, and this is only okay. So
in comparison, for example, Rocky 1 versus 3 and Creed versus 3, what would you actually define the better boxing movie?
Wait, which one? Rocky 1 and Creed 1?
Rocky. So if I actually give you a choice and I said to you, as a trilogy, what is the best? Rocky 1 to 3 or Creed 1 to 3?
Is that a question?
No, I'm asking. I'm in this point. In this point of reference, is Rocky 1 to 3 the best or Creed 1 to 3? I'm just asking from a sort of narrative point of view. I'm just
Rocky.
It's Rocky, bro. Hands down. Rocky 3 had Hulk Hogan and Clubber Lang.
No, he did. But yeah,
come on, man.
And now your mama knows.
And
I'm about to go eat, cowboy. Nice seeing everybody. Talk to y'all later. Great seeing you, Big Mike. Great seeing you, host.
All right, Josh. You too. Yeah, I'm out too, bro. You have a good one, man.
Think about that.
All right, well, look, it was good having you guys on there, Mike. Man, anytime I'm on, man, jump on. Maybe we can.
I will, man. Send me the link. I'm in here. All right, man.
All right, take care. All right, guys, I'm gonna start to wrap this up too. Sandy's just getting home. We'll watch some wrestling, get something to eat. Holtz, thank you so much because I know it's like super late for you. So thank you for staying up. CMG, thank you for coming on too. Yeah, man, it's good stuff.
I gotta see.
Yeah, man, there's some stuff out there. They're not like, I feel like I haven't been extremely entertained lately going to movies. Besides that 4DX experience is amazing. But it's listen, a movie's not supposed to last a lifetime, right? You go to it, you enjoy it, eat your popcorn or whatever, you watch it at home, and you get a laugh, you say that was amazing, you jump, whatever, and there you go. It's good stuff. Well, let me get Creed off the screen. And yeah, man. So with that being said, man, that's all I really got to say. I will be back tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure what I'll be doing tomorrow, but I'll definitely come up with something. And it's going to be epic. I know that much. So with that being said, Holtz, can you take us out of here, man?
Oh, we know it's epic. The chat knows it's epic. And now your mama knows it's epic.
And now your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon!